I'm actually far more enthused than that sounded. I'm just so tired, man.
Are you?
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Oh.
to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys. How are you? Hope you're well. What's that?
It helps if I'm looking at the screen when I'm being sarcastic to you. Oh, we're live. Oh, hi, everybody. How you doing?
I told you we were going live.
Yeah, you told me that. I didn't mean if you meant right away or in a minute.
I never do it in a minute.
This is the first time for everything. Don't judge me.
Jack pays no attention to me.
I pay attention to you. I just don't have a concept of time.
I just have to share this with the audience who doesn't follow us on Twitter. Yesterday, Jack said he saw me post something and he said he was going to surprise me with it. He's the one that sent it to me.
Yeah, I'm a genius. Like I don't ever claim to be very smart. So I'm just smarter than some of the people we talk about. That doesn't make me smart.
And that will definitely be true tonight. Hey, Nuts, how are you, sweetheart?
Hi, Stargazer. Hi, everybody. Oh,
okay,
boy. I'm having a hell of a day, let me tell you.
We have a shit ton of stuff to talk about tonight.
Yes, and we're awesome.
Well, most of it is just the Stormy Daniels thing. Anybody here for the Stormy Daniels stuff? It's going to be about half an hour from now because I want to go ahead and get a couple of little things out of the way first. And then the rest of the show is pretty much going to be going over what we have of the testimony, which comes from a site or not a site, an account over on Twitter called Inner City Press, who has been covering the Trump trial better than anyone, doing a really good job of, if not a direct transcript, as good as we can get without being the court reporter.
Yeah. This person, I think it used to be a stenographer because they've been doing amazing work.
Yeah, and just real fast, I'm going to throw their link into chat. Guys, if you're on Twitter, give them a follow because we're going to be making work of their or use of their work tonight, and they deserve credit for what they're doing here because they're doing much better than any goddamn mainstream media source is. But before we get there, Jack, I want to talk about our favorite people in the world, Palestinian protesters.
Oh, dear God, yeah.
I just want to leave that on the screen for a minute. If you can't read it, maybe we'll blow it up a little bit. You're the reason I saw this originally, and this was reported to be from Columbia. It's not Columbia. It's a college in Canada, if I remember correctly. But I saw a post. I saw a post where somebody, these people are making a difference. We should be proud of them. If you can't see the screen right now, they spray painted on the steps of this college, Free Palestine, Palastine. Pala.
Yep.
I mean, I guess we should give them some credit for using Hooked on Phonics Monkey. But I care so deeply about this. I didn't even learn how to spell it. It's not even that hard of a word to spell.
I mean, you could look it up on your cell phone, you know, because
these are college kids.
Yeah, like I get making mistakes, but when it's something as supposedly as important as this, you're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And you shouldn't be proud of these kids. You should be getting them into remedial spelling classes.
Yeah, or at least basic internet searches. It's fucking sad.
I misspell stuff all the time, Jack. I'm a bad speller.
Yeah, so am I.
But if I'm going to be so moved that I'm going to, I don't know, vandalize, I'm at least going to do it and spell it properly.
Yeah, like Evolve pointed out, they're not even. Like one word is lower than the other.
Yeah. It's just tragic. This is what colleges are putting out, and this is why they're dumb enough to support terrorists.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do shit like this, at least look like you're trying and not just phoning it in.
Now, On the other hand, if instead this is a troll and somebody out there's like, this will make him look stupid, that is a genius.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I don't think that's what happened here.
No, I mean, the 4chan, I'm sure, could come up with a pools closed sort of IRL thing they could pull with these clowns, but I don't think it's happened yet.
Now we're on our crappy internet tonight. It is raining like hell in Michigan again. I will say this: Michigan's turning beautiful right now. For all my issues with Michigan, it really is a beautiful state as long as you stay off the roads.
Yeah,
And everything is turning green. 2 weeks ago, Michigan was still a dull brown color, and right now it is just bright green and beautiful out there.
I was talking to well, first, two things. One, thank you, Adabisi, for the generous donation while we were off air. I'm not going to read the message, but he sent me a really funny video link. I do appreciate that, dude. That made me feel a lot better. But a buddy of mine from the comic shop was talking, right? And he's going to go up to Michigan this weekend. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, you know what I hate about Michigan? The damn roads.
Yep.
And he's like, you know, once you get up by the Upper Peninsula, it's really not that bad. I was like, yeah, because nobody fucking lives there. And he's like, yeah, but you get around Detroit, it's like everything is trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And he started talking about a police chase he saw in Flint where they're driving all around the city. And he's like, the whole thing looked like a war zone. Like you took the OJ chase and put it in Beirut.
Yeah, our streets look like the pictures you see from Gaza. They're just holes really all in everything.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people don't realize how many potholes are littered across Michigan. I don't know who's embezzling that money, but they have been running that grift for like 30 years, and it's brilliant.
Eagle says it's been green here for quite a while. I live, I don't want to, I mean, it's findable, but I'm north. If you're down by, say, the Lansing area, it was green back in early April. It was already turning green. Up here, it looked like Wizard of Oz all over this fucking place, you know, before color starts.
Yeah, you're all sepia tone.
Yeah, and now it's getting pretty, and I really love it. Thank you, Circus Zero. This is tragic. In Michigan news, a brand new FedEx building in Kalamazoo was hit by a tornado and caused it to collapse with 400 workers inside. No news on if there's any deaths. God bless, man.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I hope everyone's okay. That's horrible. That's horrifying. Michigan, I mean, we're not, you know, Oklahoma or Kansas or any of that, but we get some pretty violent tornadoes up here.
Yeah.
Anyhow, okay, one short video we're going to watch. It is going to be very choppy, so we're only going to watch a minute of it, Jack, not even that long. Antonio Brown, I know that name doesn't mean anything to you. Former Steeler, NFL player. He was on this fat guy over on the Blaze. I always forget his name. The one who really wanted to hit it with Pearl Davis and probably should have, but Antonio is asked here about who he's going to be voting for.
Where are you at on the political spectrum? You're not a fan of Joe Biden or what?
Nah, I like Donald Trump. I seen Joe Biden online. He was shitting on himself and like falling all over. I'm like,
now look, I don't put a lot of trust or faith in the words of athletes or anyone really, but this just to me jumped out at me because, I mean, this is a guy who's not really known for politics, right? He's a sports star. And he goes into further detail about it and why he likes Trump and stuff, but his immediate reaction is that Biden is shitting himself and falling over. This is a problem for the Biden campaign. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is a black man.
Is he really? Because he's not voting for Biden. But
he knows he's not voting for Biden, so he can still be black.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember, if you don't know, it's only if you didn't know. If you were voting for Trump or Biden, then you're not black.
Oh.
Is
that how that works? It's very confusing.
This is a problem for him because people are paying attention to Biden and how bad he is. No, he didn't go into policy. He didn't go into inflation. He's rich. He doesn't notice. He's just like, that man's shitting himself. I don't know how they even deal with that, Jack, other than to lie and pretend it doesn't happen. Other than to do their best to keep it off the news. Biden shitting himself wasn't on like CNN. It wasn't on MSNBC. It was on social media. I don't know how they fight back against it, honestly. Plus, it's just funny hearing somebody say that Biden was shitting himself on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, Antonio, never change. This one has a video, but we're not watching it because I really don't care. But I do want to point this out. I forget her name. Mills. That's it. Governor Mills up there in, is it Maine? Shit. I should know all this stuff.
That's Maine. Yeah.
Before I start talking about it. She signed a new thing today, Jack, where...
Yeah, I actually had this video in the list of stuff I wanted to watch.
Up in Maine, apparently, there's a whole bunch of really buff women who want to get into the construction game, and the men are just keeping them out by being sexist. So Maine has come up with a solution to this. They're going to start giving grants to construction companies who hire women. And I just want to give some advice to the people who run these construction companies. Take that grant money and put it towards your workman's comp premiums.
Or your insurance policies, because, dear God, you're going to have a bunch of shit collapse.
Look, there are definitely women who want to do construction. They happen, but they are the exception that proves the rule that women don't want to do this shit. We're not even talking about the engineers. We're talking about the actual construction work. You know, carrying the bags of cement and the bricks and the wood. And
you mean the hard back-breaking labor that the guys do for like 20 years before they're totally broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, women don't want to do that shit.
Women want to do it. Snubber, thank you. It shouldn't be a debate. If your choice is an SO or Alzheimer patient, you may not like it, but you know which is objectively better for leadership. True.
Yeah.
This is going to get people hurt.
Oh, absolutely it will.
And probably the men who are having to pick up after these women.
Or that are anywhere beneath them or around them that they cause a cascade for. No, you're going to get a bunch of chicks that buy into this empowerment bullshit. I could do anything a boy could do. And then they're going to get out there and cry. And it's going to be embarrassing and humiliating. They're going to drop some bag of cement 3 stories onto some dude and kill him.
I think what happened is women heard the construction workers make decent money, despite what Hassan thinks. And they're like, money? I should get that job. When I worked at the shop, Jack, we had 2 girls who worked on the floor. 2 women. Sorry, I don't want to be sexist. 2 women who worked on the floor the whole time I was there. One of them, she was okay at her job. She was still kind of lazy. The other one couldn't do shit for herself.
Yeah.
And we
don't know how to do that.
We weren't having to lift that much. I mean, she worked what we called secondary. And the most she would have to pick up is maybe 40 pounds. Could somebody move this for me? No.
No, that's your job. No, like Jiraiya said, welders. Yeah, maybe then. Or sign duty, like Evolved pointed out. But it's mostly a job for guys, and not like guys our age either.
No, I'm way past any. Even without being crippled, I'm way past construction work.
Yeah, there's very few guys over 50 in the construction industry. It's almost all young guys. Unless you're a foreman by that point, because your body's going to be annihilated by the time you're 45. It's hard work. It is very backbreaking. And some girl not being able to lift a sandbag is not going to be very helpful on the job site.
And again, there are some women who can do it. I don't want to take it away from the handful, but they are the exception.
Yeah, they're the exception, not the rule. A couple of big buff lesbians or former wrestlers could do it, but
Oh, you get some farm girls out there, man. They could lift shit that made me just like, damn, I'm a bitch.
yeah, but that's again the exception because they've been out there baling hay for the first 20 years of their life because they fall out of the womb and go out in the field and start working.
Mhm.
There's not that many of them that do that. And I'm kind of with Evolved. We should bring back calling them skirts. So
I do like calling them
around.
skirts.
Yeah, see.
See? The other thing here is this is incredibly sexist. Somebody asked, I think it was a bald potato even on Twitter, if this is legal. And kind of, I mean, because they're not, how do I say this? While there's an incentive to hire women, they're not forcing you to hire women or anything. This isn't California where you have to have 50% of your board female. But it does show the hypocrisy when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? This is blatant sexism. You get a bonus if you hire women.
Yeah.
You're literally hiring based on sex. Technically, under EEOC laws, yes, that should be, but we make these little carve outs anytime we're, trying to fight racism or sexism or whatever ism you are, as long as you're being sexist or racist or ismist in the right way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keldrig. The only people asking for this are feminists who aren't going into that kind of work anyway. Yeah, I mean, I see what? 1, 2, 3. I think that's a woman back there. 7 women on the screen, not counting the back of the heads that we can see there. 1 is the governor. 3 clearly already work in construction. The one right behind the governor, I'm guessing goes by Steve or Bob these days. The one on the far right that we can see is an old lady in a green thing. She ain't going into construction. And then right beside her, just a little bit to the left, I mean, she's tatted up and stuff, but that bitch ain't carrying anything heavy on a construction site.
No, and by the time, if that chick worked in construction, she's getting by on her looks. I'm sorry. She might be fairly strong, but she is not doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And if she is, by the time she's 30, she's going to be broken.
Dude, I can see the start of her biceps and I can see her forearms. That bitch ain't strong at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. If that chick works there, she's working like signal crew or in charge of logistics or something.
Even if we count the back of the heads that we can see there, we're up to what, 11 people on the screen, 3 of which are clearly women in construction.
Yeah, but look at
that is over-representative of women who want to do construction.
Absolutely.
You're talking 27%, and that 27% of women do not want to go into hard back-breaking construction. They don't want to be on a roof putting up ceiling tile or roof tiles. They don't want to be pouring tar and pouring cement and getting all nasty. Again, if they want to and can do the work, by all means, let them. I'm not saying don't let women do it. But can we stop pretending that everything women aren't doing is just because men are keeping them out of it? You have 3 right there with you who are already doing it. Why did you need a whole new thing to take taxpayer money and give it away to companies so that they hire a woman? I'm tired of this nonsense, man.
I know.
We're doing it for the women's.
Are we?
Somebody asked a great question. How long until women with penises start taking these jobs from them?
Oh, yeah. A couple people have said that in chat. Retro said the Home Depot crowd's going to be wearing skirts. Yeah. Oh, no. My name is Juanita.
Fuck,
it's
dude.
got like a full mustache.
If I'm a guy who owns a construction company, I just ask the guys, hey, would you say you're a woman so we can get a bonus here? I'll share it with you.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, yeah.
Split the difference on that and
yep.
All under the table. I don't blame them if they do that.
Yeah. You don't even have to dress like a woman. Just say that you identify as one, be your normal self, and we'll make out like bandits.
Yeah. Ironically, I saw this the same day as another clip, and this was the least sexist thing I had seen yesterday.
Nice. What was the most sexist?
It was Kathy Hochul. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did you see the people who said it to Modern Renaissance Man's video?
Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
Kathy Hochul came out and said, black kids can't figure out computers. I'm paraphrasing, but that's
they don't even know
basically
what the word is. Black kids in Harlem have never heard of computers.
You know what? We could probably fit that one in here. Let me see.
It's in the side chat.
Is it
Yeah.
now the original, or do you have the one with?
Oh, I got the original. I don't have the.
Oh, I want.
Oh, you want his?
Let's see, Rudy. What's his name? Ludiowski, whatever.
I can't pronounce half
Luke.
the names I see. It's nothing personal. It's just the way it is.
Luke Rudkowski, whatever his name is. There we go. He shared it. So on the screen, for the record, YouTube, the guy playing the African American, the African American guy playing the stereotype that Democrats have made. He made this. He's a black guy. He was mocking the people who think he's too dumb to figure out how a computer works. He wasn't being racist. He's pointing out Democrats are. Thank you, Omar, who says, Monkey, I'm just saying hi. I appreciate your content. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for watching, dude.
So we've watched this video before, and they've added Kathy Hochul when she said yesterday. No. Listen to this fucking idiot.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Young black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is.
Nope. Apparently not. Hey, that's a gray one like mine.
And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
So kids who are too dumb to know what a computer is, if you just tell them what a computer is, they are going to solve society's problems with tech innovation. Hey,
it's amazing people are this blatantly racist.
Yeah. Democrats, I need you guys to listen to me. Black people are just people.
Yeah. I said Harlem. I'm sorry. It was the Bronx.
The Bronx, yeah.
My bad.
They're just people. And I don't know if you realize this, but you're on the side of Nick Fuentes with this stupid shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How do they get away with being so blatantly racist?
I don't know, dude. I wish I did. Because it's amazing. You can say shit like that and they still get elected. Like, you are the most blatantly, obviously racist people on the planet. And somehow you're in positions of power where you can call other people racist.
Yep.
It's
all right,
sad,
the next one is just weird, and then we're going to get into the Stormy Daniels stuff, unless there's anything else you wanted to cover.
Right now, it's just thank you, Keldrick. She's not even aware of how openly racist that is she? Nope. This is normal to people like that. They think so little of you that you're just a demographic that is required to vote for them.
IT engineer first lesson. What is a computer, right? Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. Because Republicans don't capitalize on it. They do not. Republicans need to start pointing out all of this racist shit that these guys are doing. And not the way that Democrats do it, where they call everything racist. Just point out, these people don't think you know what a fucking computer is. That's how dumb they think you are. And that you need honky white man to come in and explain something as simple as what a computer is in 2024. This isn't like 1970, Jack, where the idea of a computer is foreign to people.
Yeah.
A personal
that's true.
computer in 1970, people are like, what are you talking about? Today, they're in our fucking pockets.
Yeah.
Anyway, a man wearing a Super Mario t-shirt on the side of an Oklahoma highway confesses to a cold case murder. This is a bizarre story,
It is very
which
weird.
is why we're covering it.
Yeah.
The cops do a welfare check on this dude who's just sitting on the side of the road, Mr. Super Mario here. I think Mario cracked this case. I think he needs to get some attention for what he did here.
I think we're looking at a future crossover movie with It's a Me, Detective Mario, and my friend Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
It's going to be a buddy cop movie with Mario and Pikachu.
And it should be. It should be.
I would watch
So,
that.
This dude is just kind of sitting on the side of the road, and the cops pull up to do a wellness check because people have been like, there's a fat guy in a Mario shirt sitting on the side of the road.
Yeah, they all thought it was Chris Chan getting ready to go raping.
And instead, he almost immediately starts admitting that he murdered a chick.
And not just in the past hour.
No. This is a murder from 2016. October of 2016. So what, we're 6.5 years on?
Yeah.
7.5 years on. 7.5.
Yeah, it's creeping up there.
Yeah, and he says the reason he did it, he knew her. Parents know this kid. He's known him forever. But he was planning on raping her, and she wasn't going for that, so he just strangled her.
He didn't rape her afterward, did he? Because that's pretty fucked up.
There's no indication I saw in this story, and I did not look up the details from the past, that she was actually sexually assaulted.
Well, thank God he's not a corpse humper, because those people are fucking gross. Look, rape's bad enough. Murder's bad enough. You put him in the other order where he kills her and then rapes the body, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's desecration and all kinds of horrible stuff.
Yeah, you are really, really hardwired wrong if you're doing that. Sorry.
Look, he admitted it, and I'm glad he did, and that the family's getting some kind of closure. We put too much emphasis on closure because this isn't going to make them feel better about their dead daughter.
It's really not.
It might make them feel, hey, at least justice is being served. But I'm glad he's come out and admitted it, and that these people have an answer to what exactly happened to their kid, because that's horrible. Yeah, he had a crush on her and went to her house, and this is what really weirds me out about it. Like, how did nobody have an eye on this guy over the last 7 years as a possible suspect?
I would hope his name came up. I mean, look at that dude.
Anyway, good job on Mario for taking down Bowser there, but fuck, man. Can you imagine being those cops? Hey, buddy, how you doing? I killed a woman.
Well, paperwork just got worse.
Fuck.
Hey, what now? Sorry, sir. Did you say you killed someone? Yeah. What? He starts giving details. You're like, what? No.
Yeah, and they say in the article, the police, because he was given details, that they're like, yep, that lines up with everything we know about this case.
That's so messed up.
It is. It is.
I was just going to rape her, but then I decided, since she's fighting back, I'm going to have to kill a bitch.
And the weird part is the way they describe it. It's like he says he's going to rape her, and in his mind, that was just regular kind of having sex, but because she was like, I don't want to have sex with you, he strangled her.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe she was on his property, which makes it all okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm glad that he's going to prison, and I hope he dies, honestly.
Yeah.
Legally, look, YouTube, I gotta say this, state sanctioned capital punishment is what I'm talking about when I say I hope he dies. When it comes to capital punishment, I'm very iffy on it. I think it has to be guaranteed this is the person that did it, and this fucker's admitting to it, so fuck him.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't get to be alive anymore.
So one thing I did want to bring up was the Minnesota Democrat I think she's a representative, Coley Vang. She's an anti-gun advocate. She had come out and said that victims of stalking and harassment, or anyone that has an active restraining order filed, should not have access to firearms because they don't have enough training.
What?
Yeah, she said this on, I think it was on C-SPAN. But if you want, we can watch the video tomorrow or something. But I was like, you're a dum-dum. She's basically saying, I want you defenseless, and you're already a potential victim.
Yeah.
It was one of the dumbest things I've heard a rep say until I saw the Kathy Hochul video, and then I was like, all right, you're not as stupid as her, but you're dumb. You're just not racist.
You're a victim of domestic violence. You should not be able to have a gun to defend yourself. That is a take.
It's not a good one. I mean, maybe she's been charged with stalking and she has some kind of personal grudge against that. But the person that shot at me was so bad at that. He was like,
Good
get off my
job.
lawn. I hate you. And I was like, you love me forever.
All right. So what's wrong with people in this timeline? Commies.
Yeah.
That is my
Communism
go-to answer.
makes everybody dumber.
Yep. Anyway, time to move on to ho 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 green vagina.
Giant.
Oh, I should have put green gina on there, and so it doesn't look like I'm just calling her a whore. I mean, she is a whore. It's a woman who had sex for money. That's a whore.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
the definition is quite literal in this case.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about what she alleges happened with Trump. I mean, she's a porn star. That's somebody who has sex for money. And if you take her word for it, depending on which of her words you go with, she also knowingly slept with a married man. She's a hoe.
Yeah.
So
How beat up do you think her vagina is?
I've seen it, dude. It's yeah.
Well, I haven't watched her in well over a decade. She's not my type.
This was research.
Hmm.
I know you guys don't believe me when I say this, but remember when her and Roseanne Barr were fighting?
Oh yeah.
I did a search because Roseanne Barr made a comment about her taking it up the ass from men who weren't her husband, and she's like, "I've only taken it in the butt from my husband."
Right.
There's video proof that that's not true. And it's not my fault, man. I had to go look. I can't just take somebody's word for it. And let me assure you, I didn't enjoy it at all because she has those big old fake titties. You know, the ones that
Yeah.
you can see the silicone inside bounce.
Yeah, they are way too large and they're
Yep.
very, very fake.
And most of the videos were her and her husband, and they're both nasty people. And yeah, yes, it really was research this time, Retro. I did not enjoy that at all. How you make me not like looking at vagina, woman?
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive feat. Well, and she's getting kind of fat too, so
Well, these are older videos, so she was still in shape at the time. But those titties, those tats. I'm not a tat fan, and her and her husband both look like they fell into ink. And
yeah,
nasty
no,
bitches.
I'm looking at it right now, and
Yep,
the older stuff, she looked beat up then,
yep.
and now she's looks well, at least she did eventually dye her taint. But yeah, she's just gross.
And Ebony, you are right. Jack, most women are fat to you.
That's
She
a
just
hate
pointed out.
fact.
It is one of those hate facts. But Stormy Daniels, in yet another head scratcher of a moment in this fucking Donald Trump thing. Some of the people who've been called to testify in this, we need to remember what this case is about. This case is about financial fraud, fraudulently causing documents to be filed fraudulently in relation to a election fraud scheme.
Mm-hmm.
None of that has fuck all to do with Stormy Daniels other than they're saying she's the one that got the payment. And that's important to know as we start this out. Again, this is Inner City Press. Please check them out if you're on Twitter. Give him a follow. This guy's doing some amazing work on this case. Trump has arrived, blue suit, yellow tie. This time his lawyer, Susan, I think it's Nichelle's, sets up the lead counsel seat to his right. Apparently she'd been doing the Stormy cross today. But the contempt motion or argument first. I don't know if they even went over the contempt thing. They did ask for a mistrial and that was denied. And I don't know how much. I've only read a little bit of this. So this is going to be a surprise for us too, Jack.
Yeah. Well, you know, the lady that was interviewing Stormy, Susan Hoffinger, she donated to Biden's 2020 presidential campaign.
Yeah.
That came out today. A bunch of people involved in this have donated to Biden or have had conversations with somebody at the White House.
Yep.
You know, like the judge's daughter, who's major fundraiser for the DNC. And the judge donated to her. The prosecutor donated to Biden's campaign. There's a lot of questionable things in here.
So all rise, and the clerk announces what the case is. And then Trump's lawyer starts out with, we're informed that Stormy Daniels is a second witness today. We oppose any details of sexual acts. If any mention of sexual acts needs to be in here, it just has to be vague. Did you have sex with Donald Trump? Yes. That is all that is needed to say that he was trying to keep her from telling the world that they had sex.
Yeah.
The judge on the other, Judge Meechan, or sorry, isn't it Meechan?
Yeah. Meechan.
Merchant. Okay. He asks, other than just we had sex? Prosecutor, Your Honor, only limited details as to Karen McDougal, not Stormy Daniels. Stop it. The details are important. The sex acts. Only certain details are unnecessary. How are the fucking details of the sex act at all important here?
They're not. They shouldn't be relevant at all. It's just to make Trump look bad and to be salacious.
It's literally just trying to get tabloid headlines into the fucking court record.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no reason for it. And any judge worth their salt, and I don't care, even a Biden lawyer, Biden specific judge should be like, no, there's no reason for this. There's just none. They had Hope Hicks up there the other day. Hope Hicks, who had nothing to do with any of this. Instead, she testified about how Donald Trump was looking at, I forget what the other, the grab him by the pussy tape. They allowed that to be admitted into evidence in this case.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. It has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing.
Hope Hicks broke down on the stand, too, because she was like Trump's aide for, 10 years?
Well,
something like that.
Wasn't she, what's his name's aide, actually? Meadows?
I don't know, but she ended up being the communications director at the White House.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was somebody in the inner circle, and there was no reason to put her on the stand.
And what they asked her about had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
So this is what you're going into with the Stormy Daniels thing. They've already allowed stuff that has zero impact on this case.
There's so many grounds for appeal here that it's ludicrous.
There are so
this
many.
Entire thing is a sham.
There's so many grounds for removing this judge from the bench.
Oh, they're not going to, though. He's going to get his own, he's going to get celebrated. He'll probably get a TV show, get a book deal out of this, and he'll be invited to cocktail parties till he dies, especially if he throws Trump in jail.
The prosecutor goes on, we'll get into conversations they had in the hotel and how the sexual act came about, how she felt about it. We will not get into genitalia.
None of that is relevant, especially genitalia. But the conversation is irrelevant. It's about campaign finances. What does their conversation have to do with anything?
Trump's lawyer said there's no need for this. This is a case about books and records.
Yeah, this is absolutely a records case.
Yep. The judge responds, this woman has credibility issues, so details are important. I will allow them. Call your witness. Oh, the jury. Bring the jury in. He forgot to bring the fucking jury. Anyhow.
Trump's already guilty. This is a show trial.
Did you get that, though? The judge just said that she has credibility issues, so we have to hear the salacious details.
Yep. She's a known liar. And the letter that they weren't allowed to apparently enter into evidence where she denies that this was a thing, they're not allowed to bring that in.
Yep.
So they've got to trick her into saying it on cross. This whole thing is fucking ridiculous.
We need to address that for a minute. The credibility issues that are here is that even unprompted, Stormy Daniels came out in 2018 and said, and wrote a letter saying, I did not have sex with this dude. I didn't fuck this guy. And then Michael Avenatti comes into the picture.
Yeah.
And suddenly she's like, oh yeah, I totally banged him. So there's a written record from her saying she didn't do it. And they are not allowed to bring that up in this trial.
Yep.
But she's allowed to go in there and talk about having played with his mushroom cap.
Yep. So she's denied it multiple times. She's not allowed to bring that up. There's a written testimony from her, signed by her.
Yep.
That's saying she never had sex with him, but we're not allowed to bring that in. So we're going to bring her in to ask her all the gory details and about the conversations that may have happened. Good luck, Trump. You're fucked. This whole thing is rigged.
Now, I don't know if it comes up in this, but as soon as they ask her about having the sex, that should open the door for bringing up her prior statements.
Yes, absolutely. But they're not going. This judge is not going to let that happen.
Okay, so the prosecutor, they call Susan Franklin. I don't know who Susan Franklin is. We're going to scroll down from the Franklin thing because I don't really care. I want to get to Stormy. Will you talk for just a moment? I had this set up and then I forgot. I closed the one that was jumped down. So if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's see. One Night in Bangkok and the World's Your Oyster.
Dude, I heard that fucking song the other day and it's been stuck in my head since.
Yeah, it's on my playlist and I heard it like 3 times today because I had a lot to do.
Okay, here we are. This is where they call MITAM has an approach, and then the prosecutor calls Stormy. Do you notice that they called Stormy Daniels? It says we call Stormy Daniels. Earlier, she corrected the defense when the jury wasn't there. Not Stormy Daniels. It's Miss whatever her fucking real name is.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's Stormy again.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's loud. They could call her whatever they want, but not evil Trump.
This was done because everybody knows the name Stormy Daniels and Stephanie Clifford. Clifford's, is that her name?
Something like that.
Yeah, they don't know that. Please tell me about your family. The fuck does her family have to do with Trump's business records?
It makes her sympathetic because she got manipulated by the evil, maniacal Russian agent Orange Man Bad.
This is insane.
Mm-hmm. She was just a wholesome family woman out trying to earn a living for herself and her kids. And then this Orange Man came up to her in a cafe and offered her $500. Was like, "You're going to be mine tonight." And he grabbed her by the vagina and let her out. That may have been from the movie Horror with Teresa Russell. I'm not sure.
All right, so here's her answer. I was born in Baton. There will be parts of this that I skip, like the prosecutor's going to ask her about her hobbies in school. I just read that, but as we go through this, it'll be on your screen. I will link all of this. Let's do that again right now. Earlier, I linked just his account. Here's the link to the direct, as best we have. of a transcript. So you guys can read along yourselves on the screen over there, however you want to do it. But anyway, I was born in Baton Rouge. Now I live in Florida with my partner. My parents split up when I was 4. I went to a strict Christian school paid for by my father. I was raised by my mother. Newspaper editor. This is her hobbies. Newspaper editor, 4-H club, Baton Rouge Ballet. A friend introduced me to dancing, exotic dancing, when I was in high school. You haven't been asked about that yet. You were asked about your family and your hobbies. It was better than my other jobs shoveling manure. Prosecutor, why did you move out? My mother was neglectful, left me alone. She wasn't even an addict.
What?
Okay.
That's
Sure.
very specific.
She
Feels
wasn't
like
even an
a bit of
addict.
overshare.
Right? Like, lady, this is a Wendy's. What's up with you?
Right?
Did you do nude modeling? Yes. You had to have credentials or credits to be the star. I went on to pose, go on tour as a featured entertainer. I was 21. Did you work in the adult film industry? I was a clothed extra. Sweetie, I've seen you. You were not clothed. I mean, in one of those videos, there you did have on pants, but there was a giant crotch missing.
It may have been a gimp suit. We're not sure.
And there were only 2 of you on the screen. Just throwing that out there. A famous adult film director saw me, and I got a contract. Do you write and direct adult films? There's some with dialogue. You see them on TV, on late night TV with the sex cut out. I have directed over 150 films, awards for screenplays. Is that true? Does she have awards for screenplays for porn?
I think she has some AVN awards, the adult video.
Ah,
awards.
okay. And who's showing porn late at night with the sex cut out?
I don't know. What is that, like a 2-minute video?
Like,
Is that
like
a
the
clip
chick is
show?
in the office and some dude comes in. I'm here to fix your copier, and then just switches to the next scene.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just an endless stream of cars breaking down, pizzas being delivered, and copiers being fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Stormy, sure. Can we question her credibility at this point?
I'm questioning her ability to remember anything.
Have you been in films and TV? Daniel says the 40-year-old Virgin, a TV show with Courtney Cox, and on a podcast. Yes, Between the Norm female. Okay, she has not gotten back to actually doing adult films. She was asked if she was on screen, and her only answer was as a clothed extra. That's a flat out lie. That's perjury.
Absolutely, it is. It's at best a lie by omission.
That is a direct lie. Anyway, well, she was asked if she worked in the adult film industry, so I guess you're right. It is omission because he didn't specifically ask if she had sex. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like how she tries to give herself some credibility by saying she was in the 40-year-old Virgin. I did like that movie, and I've seen it probably 2 or 3 times. I don't remember her in that movie.
Lots of porn stars have guest appeared in movies. Sasha
Oh, yeah.
Grey did, and Chasey Lane. Chasey Lane was in a music video for Bloodhound Gang. She's been in a couple movies too. Lots of them have crossovers. Look at Tracy Lords. She built an entire second career off B movies.
Yep.
Of course, most of her porn is illegal now because she was like 16 at the time they were made.
Prosecution asks, in 2009, did you explore running for the Senate in Louisiana? What does this have to do with anything?
Goes to credibility. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. This is irrelevant. This entire line of question, it's trying to make her look like a more upstanding citizen than she is. She's just some dirty hoe that took a bunch of money to bang some dude, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to to paint her as anything. Why are you trying to paint her as some upstanding citizen, award-winning director, Jack?
Yeah.
Award-winning writer.
I can tell you why, is they're going for the Harvey Weinstein angle. They're trying to make him look like he manipulates people into having sex with him because he's a powerful man and will ruin their lives.
But because we're beyond Gary Hart, where he had sex with a woman and oh my God, it ruins his career. Clinton got rid of that. The only reason this becomes salacious is because not only did he cheat on his wife, he had sex with a porn star. She's been labeled everywhere as porn star or adult film actress.
Except in court transcripts.
Except in court. Suddenly she's an award-winning writer.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, there was a draft Stormy campaign to oppose David Vitter. David would never debate me. Shocking. I would have done it. And I would have spent the whole time talking about what a horse she was. I've been like, we have a deficit almost as big as Stormy's used up vagina. I would have had fun with that, Jack.
Right?
Our border is more open than Stormy Daniels' anus. See, there's so many ways you could have done that.
Look at that black hole. That reminds me of...
Let's turn to Lake Tahoe in 2006. Daniel says, I was a golf course. I hope that's a typo. I was a golf course. Wicked sponsored a hole on the golf course. Yes, I'm aware that it's funny. This is actual court testimony. This happened. Our courts are all backed up, and they're like, we got to get more judges. And how about we just cut out the frivolous shit?
Somewhere there's a rape trial that could be happening in this courtroom.
There are murder trials that take 3 days. This is already on day 12.
No, it's 14.
14. I'm sorry. It's even longer.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This whole nonsense thing never should have been brought. It's just to be salacious during an election season, and letting any of this testimony in is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Are you saying we have a prolapsed national debt? Yes.
Yeah. At this point we do. Absolutely.
Fuck, I love our audience, man.
That is you should be in marketing for that one.
Speaking of which, we are brought to you by you. Hit the like button, the share button. If you would, please consider donating to Jack and myself, and we'll use that for food. Okay,
Yeah,
where are we?
We're not Stormy Daniels rich.
Yeah, and neither one of us is an award-winning porn writer.
No, although that would be a pretty easy job. I've seen the scripting they do in modern porn.
It's not like scripting in old porn was all that good.
No, but at least they put some effort into like dressing it up. Even like Asian porn, they often have like a little storyline to it. Like, her stepdad was banging her sister. But she was curious what it's like too. There's some story to it, where American porn is just two people humping immediately, and it's very routine and boring.
I appreciate that because I don't need the setup. I really don't. I'm not there if I wanted to watch a movie, I'd watch a movie.
Sometimes you want to know, what does this person look like with pants on?
All right, where are we? Somebody just said in chat, AI could write porn. Somebody should go to Chat GPT or one of those, and have them write you a script for a scene between Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, and just put them in all kinds of different places doing porn. like Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump having a porn scene with Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels with clown costumes. That could be fun.
In Pyongyang with Kim Jong-un watching from a closet and quietly masturbating.
Yes. Speaking of quietly masturbating,
That's not a
I-
sentence I want you to ever start with.
I was watching one of Moist Critical's latest videos. I think it was his latest when I saw it a couple hours ago. It's about a pickup artist.
Oh God.
This pickup artist, his advice basically boils down to this, and I am not kidding, that when you first meet a woman, what you should say to her is, I want to fuck you. That's how you should start the conversation. I want to fuck you. What's your name?
Well,
And
really?
his reason for this is if you just go up to her and go, hey, what's your name? It comes off like a job interview, and nobody goes home and masturbates after a job interview. I was like, oh.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the people that have interviewed me? No, you haven't. Shut up.
You don't know what I do with my free time.
You don't know what my fetishes and kinks are. Actually, the audience pretty much knows them all at this point.
It's just hilarious that people think these pickup artists actually have anything to share. Anyway, where are we? Did you meet Donald Trump? Yes, of course. Wicked's owner introduced me as director. Yeah, I'm sure that's how he introduced you. What did you know about Mr. Trump? I hadn't seen Celebrity Apprentice, but I remember him in cameos in wrestling. It's a big deal in Louisiana. That's all you knew Trump from?
Right.
From Home Alone 2 and wrestling.
Yes, and his infamous board game, Trump the Game, which actually was pretty fun.
Trump the Game. Don't forget the art of the deal.
Yeah, an art of the deal, yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're our age, which she's really close to, you knew Trump from much more than just that. Stop lying.
Oh, yeah. Dude was all over. He was on wrestling. He was on interviews all the time. Barbara Walters interviews and TV shows everywhere. The guy's a brilliant marketer. You probably saw commercials with him in them. He did a commercial for, what was it, Domino's Pizza or something like that.
What was it, Domino's, or did he do the Pizza Hut ones with the reverse, with the stuffed crust?
Oh, yeah, it was the Pizza Hut. You're right.
All right. It's a big deal in Louisiana. Prosecutor asks, then what? And Daniel says, he asked me about my films. I saw him talk with another gentleman. Again, this is a guy who's trying to do the transcribing as it's going on. So parts of this might seem abrupt because of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit stilted.
But I do like, he asked me about my films, and then I saw him talk with another gentleman. That's just, you know what he's getting at. Just never mind. Do you see Mr. Trump in the courtroom? Can you identify him and an article of clothing? I get it that they have to do this. Like, could you identify the person we're talking about?
I'm sorry.
But
everybody's going to take their pants off if I'm going to do that.
It's literally the former president of the United States.
Yeah. One of the most famous men on the planet.
Like, the jury might be confused that she's talking about a different Donald Trump.
Yes, it was Ronald J. Trump, an impersonator.
Fuck. There with a blue suit, prosecutor, take this thumb drive. People's 226, the golf room photo. Stormy says he's in a red hat. And in this photo, this is him on the golf course. She's already identified him.
Yeah. Here's a wacky photo of me in circus clothes.
What did you tell Mr. Trump's bodyguard when he said Mr. Trump would like to take you to dinner? Fuck no. This is something she's maintained since she started this nonsense, is that he pursued her and she said no. All right. Let's say that's true. You did eventually fuck him, right?
Yep.
So trying to be like, I said no, really means nothing when, according to you, you got a load dumped in you.
And you got a big paycheck for it.
Yeah.
Real fast. Thank you, Circus Zero. No, you masturbate before the interview so you're calm and not stressed during the interview. Lol.
Yes.
That's true with dates too. But you can do it afterwards too.
Yeah, I say you do it afterwards in celebration. Hopefully it went well.
Yeah, just never during. It won't go well. Unless you're a porn star.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, unless you're Stormy Daniels. We brought it back around. Because we're good at our job.
Hell yeah. It's the hardest job in the world, and we're this good at it.
Faithless says, as if Trump needs to chase any tail. Right?
Yeah. He's a billionaire. He's literally one of the most recognizable people on the planet.
But she was just so hot. And this is going to come up later. There's a reason that they're pushing this narrative that she was chased by. I had to fuck her. We'll get to it, and it's really fucking gross.
Of course it is.
But keep it in mind. Excuse me. Did you give Keith Schiller your number? Yes. Did you discuss the invitation with anyone? Stormy says, my media guy, Mike, I was supposed to go to Wicked dinner. I wanted to avoid it, cat fight and stuff. He told me you should go. It'll make a great story. What could possibly go wrong? She laughed after she said that.
Yeah. By the way, she's not from Boston, where Wicked means something else. Wicked dinner. No. She Wicked is a production company that makes porn.
Yeah. And I just want to point this part out too. What could go wrong? Let's say everything she said is true. If she'd have kept her fucking mouth shut, she wouldn't have gotten anything. She wouldn't owe Donald Trump $500,000 right now.
Yeah, which they do address.
Yeah, so she's given this thing like, I mean, that almost is kind of the setup to, and then he has sexually assaulted me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they
wrong?
set this up like a Weinstein interview.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we just did that one. Stormy said, I texted with Keith and arranged to go to Mr. Trump's hotel, Harrah's. The prosecutor says, and then Keith told me to go to the penthouse. Keith was at the doors. He said, you look nice. What were your expectations? Dinner. All right, this is where I'm going to invoke Camille Paglia and what she said, in the Mike Tyson case. Ladies, if a man is inviting you up to his hotel room, he wants to fuck you. That should be what you go into it expecting. And if that's not what you want, here's just a little hint. Don't go. I get it. No means no. And that's 100% true. But don't put yourself in a bad situation. And remember, in this case, she's not even alleging sexual assault. She went up there and sucked him off willingly. But I went to his penthouse. What were you expecting? Just dinner.
That's why I went at 2 a.m. We've both been drinking.
Do you not read the scripts you write? Anyway.
Real fast. Thank you, Evolved Potato. You know that there's nothing about Stormy and Cohen sleeping together, and the more this goes on, I wonder, did Trump actually sleep with her, or did Cohen, and they actually just scammed Trump out of some money, because corrupt lawyer and whore. You're not wrong, dude. That's quite possible.
Look, I have no problem believing that Donald Trump banged some nasty bitch, okay?
Yeah.
But in this case, the only one whose story has been consistent all along is Trump.
Yeah. Her story has bounced all over the place, and she owes him a bunch of money, so she has incentive to lie. And like Matt said, she's not an innocent flower. She's just a sweet, innocent farm girl from Louisiana. That's exactly how they're painting her, man. You're right.
No matter if she slept with Trump or not, she's the only one between the two of them that we know, without a doubt, lied about this.
Yes.
Because she said both that she did it and that she didn't, and those two things can't be equally true.
Schrodinger's poontang.
Yes. Fuck. What was he wearing? Silk pajamas.
Oh, what's he wearing? Wait, what?
I know,
what?
Right? He was asking for it.
Yeah, he was clearly asking for it. Her gaping maw of a vagina sucked him right in. Obviously, she raped Trump. That's the real secret here. Sorry.
Silk pajamas. I asked him, did you steal Hugh Hefner's pajamas? And I told me to change. I think this is supposed to be, he told me he would change. He did. He came back in a dress shirt and pants. This hotel room was 3 times the size of my apartment.
He should have come back in a Tarzan banana hammock. How do you like me now, bitch?
Okay, I'm fine with her describing his clothing, although I doubt Donald Trump is showing up for business meetings in silk pajamas, but whatever.
I don't know what he does.
Why do we need the hotel room was huge?
It was huge, the biggest hotel room ever. No, they want all these salacious details so they can make him look bad. That's all it is.
Oh, 100%, yeah. What did you discuss? Daniel says, I told him where I grew up. Do I have siblings? I do not. Did I have a boyfriend? No, at the time. Did you tell him about your hard childhood? Yes. Objection stricken. Her childhood shouldn't have been brought up in this at all in the first place.
None of this is important to this case. None of it. The payment and the basic outline of like it was something scandalous, and they were using this as a cover-up. That none of this testimony is relevant. Nothing so far has been relevant.
Evolve says, I mean, I can believe Trump slept with a whore, but I can also believe a whore and a sleazy lawyer lied to get money. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're a famous person running for office. I would like to blackmail you now. That's historically something that's happened thousands of times. So whether it happened or not is irrelevant.
Faithless says, even if all true, none of it's a crime. That is also true.
Yep.
In fact, the nonsense that they push this through to trial on isn't even a fucking crime in the state of New York.
That's why
Because
nobody else was taking this case.
There has to be an underlying crime for their falsified records thing to even be a crime, and they don't have that.
No,
but
maybe they're shooting for some sort of prostitution angle or rape.
So she goes on. So he asked me about the adult film industry, whether we have unions, get residuals. Usually people asking about the sexy stuff. Did he ask you if you'd been tested? Yes. Wicked is a condom mandatory company. I'm allergic to latex. All right, we need to stop right there because this is where I do not believe her.
That she's allergic to latex?
No, I believe she's allergic to latex.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a bold stance to take, Monkey.
I don't believe she had sex with Donald Trump if she's having sex with random guys without a condom because Donald Trump's a germaphobe.
Oh, yeah, he's a huge germaphobe. And yeah, he's cheated on all his wives, so that's not surprising. But
how many illegitimate
looks dirty?
Wait, how many illegitimate children does he have from that?
I don't think any.
None. Which is weird for a dude who plows constantly or used to.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is reputational more than factual because most of the people that he cheats with seem to be the next wife.
I asked him about wrestling because he knew Vince McMahon and had a cameo where he lost something. The judge said, Miss Daniels, could you slow down? How about Miss Daniels? Can you make this relevant to the case?
Yeah. Well, maybe he was stroking it under the bench.
I need you to go a little bit slower. Slow down. Slow. Wait. Not so fast. Not so fast.
Yeah. Talk about Russia. He's a Russian agent now. Yeah.
Just let it happen. He was supposed to get his head shaved if he lost, and I told him he wouldn't look good. Oh, okay.
Most people don't look good with shaved heads.
Keldrick, thank you. I have no problem believing Trump would wear a suit for sexy times. He has kind of an ego where I don't put it beyond him. Yeah, but then why would you be in the silk pajamas to start with?
Because he was getting ready for sexy time, and then she's like, not yet. And he's like, okay, business meeting first, then sexy time.
Where were we? He said, don't worry, it's all scripted. Did you ask about Melania? I did. He said, don't worry, we don't even sleep in the same room. He kept cutting me off. He'd ask me a question, then not let me finish. I told him, you're rude. What
Yeah,
part of that turned you on, sweetheart?
Yeah. You're rude. Is it hot in here?
I would believe her more if she just went, "This is Donald Trump, and I got very horny because he's an incredibly rich, famous man. So I was like, I got a chance to bang him, so I banged him."
Yeah.
She's trying to come off as some fucking preacher's wife. Like, I never did anything with my vagina until Mr. Trump came around. Even
Look,
in the adult film industry, I was just a clothed extra. Don't pay attention to those videos you can find of me being plowed.
yeah. No, don't pay attention to that. That's not relevant.
She's painting herself as this pious chick. I wasn't even interested in him. So what'd you do? I went to his hotel room to have dinner with just him. Oh.
And he
Did you
was
guys
wearing
talk?
a bathrobe when I got there.
Yeah, what was he wearing? He was in pajamas. Did you leave? No, I waited for him to go change.
Oh, we talked about the porn industry.
Oh my God. It's asinine. And then what'd you guys talk about? He was really rude. And then what? We fucked.
And then he gave me a big check when I was like, I'm telling.
Stormy goes on to say, I ended up spanking him, and after that he acted much better. He said I should be in The Apprentice. I told him, even you don't have that much power. Donald Trump did not have the power over his show that was massively successful.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense, Monkey.
He said, you remind me of my daughter, blonde and beautiful. To me, it made sense. Now we get to the part I was talking about earlier with why he chased her so hard. That's what that was a setup for.
Incest?
Yes, because they have this whole thing like Donald really wants to bang his daughter. By the way, you don't look anything like her. She's beautiful.
Yeah, you look like a used up old handbag.
And she says, to me, it made sense. A dude who you're saying is trying to plow you tells you remind him of his daughter, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense to me. So he was rude, and then he was creepy, and I just flooded. I just couldn't stop myself at that point.
Oh, it's all the spanking. Got her all sexed up.
What did he say about The Apprentice? That he could tell me the challenge. He couldn't let me win, but at least not lose right at the beginning. I wanted to direct some non-adult films. They have big budgets and better catering. What? What the fuck? Was she high?
I think she was high during the testimony.
What'd you guys talk about with The Apprentice? He said he could help me. He'd tell me what the challenges are. I want to direct movies that don't have penis in them. They have better catering. All I get to eat on my films is puss.
And jizz.
Jesus. Did you call another friend? Yes, a neighbor, Alana. I had run into her and I knew she didn't believe where I was. I called her and put her on speaker. He said, hello, why don't you come over and hang out with us? She didn't call back. All right, if I wanted to believe everything she said so far, it sounds like her friend Alana is a lot smarter than she is.
Yeah.
Her friend Alana is just like, nah, bitch, I ain't going to fuck this dude.
Yeah, I'm not buying this. But Divine said she wanted that craft services. Like nothing gets a chick wet like craft services. Like a shitty buffet that's been sitting out all day for actors. Yeah.
The prosecutor asks, at some point, did you use the restroom? And at that point, the judge says, hey, let's take a break.
Yeah, he's spent. He needed to get a Gatorade. I gotta drink some Pedialyte to get my electrolytes back up.
My robe's getting crunchy. I need to get my back up.
Right? Real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. So this happened yesterday in the trial. Trump comptroller Jeff McConey testified that he is the one who instructed the accounting department to classify the payments as legal expenses. He says he did that because of how Cohen worded the invoices. Yeah, why would Trump know any of that? Like, he's there balancing his own accounts. That's that you hire people for that shit.
Yes. And remember, the only reason that this all got brought up and Trump has admitted, yes, that they paid that and he paid back Cohen for all of this is because if he didn't, they were going to come after him for using campaign money to pay for this.
Yeah.
The payments,
extortion.
Yeah, the payments were $450,000. That we know of, there was only one Stormy Daniels there. It's almost like, and I know this is going to be weird, he was actually paying the lawyer for legal services.
Yeah, that's crazy talk, monkey. Oh, you did some legal services? All right. Hey, go cut a check for this. I'll bring it and I'll sign it. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like to me.
All right, so they come back in and the question is rephrased. Did you need to use the restroom? Stormy says, I was instructed by Mr. Trump to go through the bedroom to the facilities. It was a leather-looking toiletry bag on the counter. What was in it? Daniel says, I looked. Old Spice.
Classic.
He smells like a grandpa.
Well, he is old. I mean, Old Spice is that for that generation. That was their scent.
Sure. Old Spice, and she goes on to say gold tweezers. He's got Old Spice and tweezers in his shaving kit. Bitch, don't be going through people's shit.
Yeah, it's rude.
When I came out, Mr. Trump was on the bed in his boxer shorts. I was startled. I felt like the room, I'm guessing that's supposed to be room, but it says run. I felt like the room spun in slow motion, like if you stand up too fast. I thought, oh my God, what did I misread to get here? He was posing on the bed. He stood up, not in a threatening manner. He said, if you ever want to get out of the trailer park.
Accurate.
I hope it's real just for that line. I hope he called this chick trailer park trash to her face. Objection. The judge says sustained, move on. What next? I felt drugged. Objection. Overruled.
See, I told you they're going for some rapist angle.
Yep. And she can say all of this. She's allowed to say all of this on the stand. She could come up here and say he raped me on the stand, and Trump has no recourse for anything she said.
Yep. They have kept him from having any kind of defense in this case.
This just goes out into the public record. Sidebar at the defense table. Meechin comes back and sustains the objection. I can't believe you overruled it in the first place. I felt drugged. That is prejudicial as shit.
That's grounds for immediate mistrial right there.
Yep.
There's been several times. And the fact that she says she spanked him, you really think somebody with an ego like Trump's is going to let you spank them?
Prosecutor follows up asking, you were not drugged, right? And she says, there was a power imbalance.
Oh, listen to that feminist talking point.
He's in this big old place, and he said, I lived in the trailer.
And I was like, he's so powerful. It's mesmerizing me. Oh, he's like Dracula.
Did you have sex with him on the bed? Missionary. Objection. And the judge sustains it. Yeah, again, that's getting into the details of it. Did you have sex? Yes, that's the answer if you're being honest here. But I guarantee you she was coached in this, and like, look, they're going to object to this, so make sure you get as much in before the objection is said.
Yeah, the seed's already planted, even if the objection is sustained.
Sustained. I was staring at the ceiling, wishing I was somewhere else. Sustained, the judge repeats.
Yeah, again, like a rape victim. Oh, I didn't want to.
Yep. She flat out goes into the rapist or the rape talking points. This is something you hear from rape victims, is that I was wishing I was somewhere else, or even I felt like I was someone else.
I felt pressured into it.
Mhm.
Didn't expect this.
And for the record, maybe she talks about seeing it later, but she's described his penis in detail, which again tells me that this didn't really happen because Melania didn't kick the shit out of him for her describing his penis well.
Yeah.
She could have left and taken half his shit, and she's like, "Nah, I'd rather hang out with him still."
Yeah, and Melania's incredibly not only attractive woman, but she's very talented. She can speak like 5 languages. So it's not like she couldn't find someone else. She's not queen of the trailer park. It's like, this is the best I'm ever doing.
Was he wearing a condom? No. He said, "That was great. We should get together again soon, honey bunch." What did you say? Nothing. He didn't even give me his cell phone number. Okay. She just basically described rape. Let's be honest with what she's saying there. And her problem is he didn't give his cell phone number to her.
That was great, honey bunch. We'll do this again later. Bye-bye. Yeah, your poontang is fired. Goodbye. I said goodbye.
Did he express concern about his wife finding out? No. Did you tell people? Very few. I'm ashamed I hadn't stopped it.
See?
Okay.
Shame again.
From what happened, again, let's say everything she said is true. There was nothing stopping her from walking out of that room except this power imbalance.
Yes. His Trump hypnosis.
He was using the fucking Jedi mind trick on her.
Yes, he has Trumpnosis, and you can't escape Trumpnosis unless you are also a billionaire. That's just science.
I was ashamed I hadn't stopped it. I didn't want people I was dating to find out. Okay, stop right there.
You're a whore.
No. She just committed perjury.
Yeah, because she said she wasn't seeing anyone.
She said she wasn't dating anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want the people I was dating to find out. Again, you can't have it both ways, sweetie. You can't be the virginal porn star who's not dating anyone and worried that the people you're dating found out.
Apparently, you can be all of these things. She's probably a virgin, too.
Did you later remember some things? Yes, in the book. Objection, sustained, approach. So they come up. She had some repressed memories from it, Jack.
Oh, yeah. It's where aliens came down and probed her booter.
Oh, and for the record, what the prosecutor was trying to do here is get the dick description in.
Yep.
Because that is the stuff she remembers later. Anyway, the sustained is upheld. And did you see him in Lake Tahoe again? Yes, in a nightclub there. Keith called me and said Mr. Trump would be there. It would be public, so I went.
Yeah, because she felt such shame. She could be alone with him. He might
So scared.
use his Trumpnosis to get in her pants again.
Oh my God, I hadn't read this. This is funny as shit. Stormy Daniels says, Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers was there. Mr. Trump called me his little friend. Stormy then said, Ben would walk me to my room.
He was trying to get me raped.
Yeah, if you know the history of Ben Roethlisberger, he's been accused twice of raping girls in bathrooms.
Can I use your bathroom? No, get out.
Public bathrooms, by the by.
Well, everybody's got their kink.
You felt safe. As soon as you saw Ben, you should have turned and left.
Fuck
I'm just saying.
Well, you're trying to get me raped.
But said Ben would walk me to my room. Did he? Yes. Did you tell anyone then? Another Keith, my photographer, she says. Would Mr. Trump call you then? Yes, I would put him on speaker. People heard me. You had his number at that point, right?
Yeah. Obviously, if he called you, he had your phone number and you got his. So, and where are these witnesses? I want names and addresses.
Maniac Man says it's very obvious she slept with him because of his money. I'm not convinced she slept with him. I'm really not. If you go back to the Lords of the Night Days you'll hear me say, yeah, he probably fucked this chick. The more she talks, the less I believe this happened.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Is it still possible? 100%. But it sure as hell didn't happen like this. But we've caught her just in this testimony twice lying already.
Yeah.
So
About things that don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you dating anyone? Stuff like that. She's lying about something here. There's either this never happened or there's a lot of details missing.
Why are people in general going to act like it isn't blatantly obvious she slept with him because of his money? Oh, look, if they did sleep together, she was doing it for clout. Do I think it was specifically for his money? No, I think it was her describing wanting to get into real media instead of the porn industry. She wanted that connection. She wanted clout.
And she has probably slept for things before that, that she could get, like directing roles, that sort of thing. Yeah, and money, obviously. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. This feels like it's the prosecution living out a secret fetish. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? This is some weird attempt to be salacious and make Trump look bad, look like a rapist. And maybe the prosecutor's into that. I don't know.
Did he know he was on speakerphone? No. Why did you continue to take his calls? My publicist bragged. My publicist was saying, I told you so. The judge cuts in, please answer the questions. Now he's going to hold her to actually answering the questions?
Well, shoot, he wanted more details, like, tell me more about your book and where I could get it. And tell me about your feet. Do you have any bunions? Oh, they're sexy.
In response to the judge telling her to answer the question. Now, remember, she was asked, why did you continue to take the calls? I wanted to be on The Apprentice. I believe that. If this happened, that's a believable lie. Did Mr. Trump give you the number of his assistant? Yes, Rona, I put her on my phone. And then they show her contact information with Rona's phone number.
That doesn't mean anything. Trump knows lots of people. He's incredibly famous.
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that these two didn't meet.
Yeah, or even have dinner together. That doesn't mean anything. He's been on wrestling. He knows a ton of people. And if she was trying to get on The Apprentice, or he was trying to recruit her for The Apprentice, they would know each other.
Did you go to the launch of Mr. Trump's vodka? Yes, he introduced me to Karen McDougal. Then he spent most of the time talking to my friend. We lied. We were flying out of LAX on a girls' trip.
Nice.
Did you go to Trump Tower? Yes. For a dude who basically raped you, you sure? How much did you want to get on The Apprentice? Fuck.
Right?
I was dancing in a club, so I invited him. It was a public place, so it was safer. Objection sustained. But it's already in the record. I mean, the jury can't unhear that.
Yep.
She keeps going to this. It was safe. It was safe. Bitch, you fucked the guy by your admission of your own will. You can sit there and pretend that you went into rape coma or whatever the fuck you want to try to pull, but stop. You're a porn star. Nobody's believing that.
Yeah, and she still went to see him several times. They still had interactions. If he really raped her, or like she was trying to imply, then she would have avoided him at all costs. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying any of this story.
Thank you, Trump the Puss Smasher. Do y'all think the trial is being viewed by anyone at this point as important to the election? Even just glancing at the typical news headlines has me bummed out. It depends on what you mean as it having any impact. Remember, Trump could literally go to jail for this.
Yeah, they're probably going to throw him in jail for some form of contempt.
Yeah,
because this judge is a fucking douchebag and he's power hungry. But I think that the important thing for the Democrats and these Biden supporters that are running this shit show is that he's not on the campaign trail. You've seen what kind of audiences he brings in by being stuck in New York for 3 weeks. He can't do much.
Yep. Do I think it's going to change anybody's mind about Trump? No. But it can absolutely affect the election. Where are we? Oh, we just had the objection for safer, which was sustained. The prosecutor says, and at Trump Tower, Daniels, he said he was still working on getting me on The Apprentice. He introduced me around. All right. We're months later at this point. He hasn't banged you again, and he's still trying to get you on The Apprentice because you were just so good lying there like a fucking dead person. Do these people think it all before they lie?
Nope.
This is kind of the E. Jean Carroll thing. If you listen to E. Jean Carroll's story about how Trump raped her, it literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
It is literally physically impossible to have sex in the position she says it happened.
But it happened on SVU. She totally saw that episode. I mean,
unless Donald Trump's dick hangs to his knees, there's no way he got it in with the position she described.
He couldn't have done it erect either. He had
No.
to go in soft.
He had to have that thing like an actual snake going up in there.
It's like a python, a mighty python.
The prosecutor, did you see Mr. Trump in LA? Yes, he invited me to his bungalow. But then my publicist was my boyfriend. He drove me and waited outside. That was common. Mr. Trump was watching TV, a documentary about sharks.
I like sharks. Sharks are cool. You want to bang?
Well, there's two funny side notes here. Me and my friend used to joke that when we would talk about porn, we would call it Shark Week.
Yeah.
And there's an episode of Friends where Chandler, he was having to go down to Oklahoma to work for a while, and Monica visits him one day, and she walks in on him masturbating, and he quickly changes the channel to Shark Week, and she thinks he's turned on by sharks. And so I'm wondering if she is a fan of that episode of Friends, and that's where he was watching Shark Week.
No, I've been led to believe that Trump likes the Gorilla Channel. The mighty gorilla.
He kept making sexual advances. He touched my leg. How did you respond? I told him I was on my period. And he didn't go. And he didn't say, your mouth isn't bleeding?
Yeah, or your butthole.
I told him I was on my period, that there was no progress on getting on The Apprentice, or there was no progress. I stopped answering his calls, but he told me Jenna Jameson would be on. You stopped taking his calls. How did he tell you Jenna was going to be on?
Yeah, well, Jenna Jameson was a better porn director.
I just want to know how she physically had a conversation when she wasn't speaking to the man anymore.
Oh, semaphore flags.
Did you move? How was your life? Awesome. I moved to Texas, became a ranked equestrian. Objection. I'll allow it. Why? Why is what the fuck does that have? Her becoming a ranked equestrian. She can ride horses well. The whore can ride a horse well. I'm shocked.
She's used to having 5,000 pounds of muscle between her legs thrusting.
What the fuck does that have to do with this? Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's about her recovery from the evil Mr. Trump.
Did you agree to being interviewed by In Touch? Yes, someone had sold my story.
Hey, you mean your lawyer?
You mean you nasty whore? Gina Rodriguez told me to take control and $15,000. How long was the interview? That's probably the most she's ever been paid. 10 or 20 minutes on the phone. They never ran the story. Do you know why? No. Judge, may we approach? Yes, blah, blah, blah. Did you have an encounter in the parking lot in Las Vegas? Oh, I'm sure she's had many encounters in a parking lot in Las Vegas.
Well, lots of things have happened in parking lots in Vegas, but they stay in Vegas. That's the rules.
And she can't describe the other people who were involved.
Well, it's dark in there.
A man approached me and told me not to keep telling my story about Trump.
Because you sold the rights to it?
Did you tell your partner? He was having mental issues.
No. Somebody in the
Okay.
porn industry had mental issues? Hold on. I got a shocked bag around here somewhere.
Okay, just talking to Trump, she's telling everybody. But some weirdo approaches her in the parking lot and she doesn't even tell her live-in partner.
No, he was having the mentals.
He had the mental issues. Did you become aware your story was on the dirty.com? Stormy Daniels, yes, I don't read that site. I wanted it taken down. I'd been threatened. Seriously, is she high?
50-50.
What did Gina say? She asked if she could get Keith Davidson to get it taken down. Did Keith Davidson succeed? Yes, it came down.
Yo.
I wonder if we have the reporter's notes from that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because supposedly she talked to In Touch, and it's weird that he didn't ask her who you talked to. I'm sorry, I don't know if this prosecutor is a male or female. Did the prosecutor didn't ask who did you talk to at In Touch?
This is that Susan chick that is talking to her.
Who,
The
Susan
one that
McDougal?
No, Susan
Oh.
Hoffinger that donated money to the Biden
Oh,
campaign.
right.
Yeah.
But that's not asked in the trial here. That's
Well,
pertinent. If the rest of this is pertinent, who she spoke to definitely is.
Yeah, but why would they want to bring that up?
In 2015, once Mr. Trump was running for president, were you told you could sell your story for more? Yes, I was advised by a lawyer to have a press conference. Shocking.
I was advised by a lawyer to make a pile of money. It's brilliant. And I was like, I like money and hoeing.
Do you remember the Access Hollywood tape coming out? Stormy Daniels. Yes, Gina told me about it. I wanted to get the story out because of the threat. Again, why isn't the judge telling her to just answer the question that she was asked? Do you remember the tape coming out? Yeah, I was threatened. I wanted to tell everyone. She wasn't threatened in the Access Hollywood tape.
Hate fact.
She wasn't mentioned in the Access Hollywood tape.
Hate fact.
Did you find that Donald Trump and Mr. Cohen wanted to buy your story? Yes. And she goes on to say, it would be good. My husband wouldn't find out, but I'd have paperwork. I didn't care about the 130,000.
The hell you didn't.
Can we back up just a minute? Once he was running for president, were you told you could sell your story for more? Yes, I was advised by a lawyer to have a press conference. You were already fishing it around unless that lawyer guessed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but she doesn't care about the money, y'all. That amount didn't matter to me. We no longer lived in California, which is very expensive. I don't care where you live. $130,000. Jack, if somebody gave me tomorrow, like, hey, Monkey, 10 years ago, something happened. I'm gonna give you $130,000 to not ever mention it. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm signing the fuck out of that contract.
Right? Even in LA, that's a substantial amount of money.
But I just love that she doesn't. I didn't need that money because I moved out of the city. Fuck you. Were you presented with an agreement? Yes. What is this? Keith Davidson's email to Michael Cohen. I wanted it done before the nomination. Do you mean the election? Yes, the election. This was
the election.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
not political at all.
What was it you told me to say? Yeah. Election. That's what I meant. Yes, the election. This was the side letter. I was Peggy and he was David Dennison. What is this list? Stormy says, people we knew. Then they go to a break. Trump's lawyer, Todd Blanche. We moved for a mistrial based on this morning's testimony. It was prejudicial and differs from the story she was peddling before. There was testimony about no condoms, the spacing in the room, the power dynamic. There was testimony about a second sexual advance, totally irrelevant to this case. She kept saying it was in public place. What is the jury to do with that? There was an objection sustained, but it's still prejudicial.
Yep.
Guardrails didn't work. It's an issue. We are going to cross-examine her shortly, presumably, but that's not the real issue. She testified today about the consent danger, and it's not what she was selling in 2016. Her testimony today goes to the defendant's motive. The lack of condom has been out there for a long time. There were details she only remembered after a movie in 2019. They opened the door. They put in the exhibit saying in the 2011 threat was not true. Then the prosecutor, he responds, some of this will come out in cross, and I hope on redirect she testifies that she was not directly threatened and that she didn't say no. You could have given her that chance repeatedly, and you did not.
Yep.
Why are you acting like, look, no, we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it.
They could raise all this on their time. No, even on fucking fake Law and Order, this would have got thrown out. There's so much here for a mistrial. It's ridiculous. But they are going to find him guilty and put him in jail. Probably for contempt because they know this case is falling apart.
The judge says, I can rule on this. I agree there were things that would have been better left unsaid. I do think the witness was hard to control. You didn't try. There's one time you stop her. One fucking time. Anyway, she's hard to control, but I do not believe at this point a mistrial is warranted. I was surprised that there were not more objections. At one point, the court sua sponte objected. The court objected on their behalf.
Yeah, look, even if they objected, the judge has been letting too much in.
Yeah.
So objecting is pointless. I mean, you've already got enough grounds for appeal on all of this. So how many objections do you need to wedge in? Granted, some lawyers would object to everything, but they objected to a lot of stuff, and the judge is like, "No, it's cool."
The judge says, if you want, I will give limiting instructions as to the 2011 parking lot incident. You can tell the jury to ignore that, but they can't. It's impossible to hear that. Now, you can either accept it as real or reject it as irrelevant.
Yeah, but the cat's already out of the bag. They've already heard it.
You can't take that back from the jury.
Yeah. And let's face it, a lot of these jury members are already predisposed to dislike Trump because of the way the selection process has gone. And we've seen that play out. They are already built in de facto against Trump because of where they're at and what the jury selection was like.
Yeah, and we're about to see the judge trying to cover his ass, which is funny. The Trump's lawyer says, we have moved in advance, and the judge cuts in and says, that's not accurate. And she said, that's why we didn't object at this time or all the time. What she's saying there is that at the beginning of this, they objected to having this bitch up there to begin with.
Yep.
That objection's already on the record. And she's saying the reason we didn't object more is because we object to the whole fucking thing. And the judge's like, no, you didn't. They actually did. He says, I'm going to deny your motion for mistrial at this time. Do you want to discuss a limiting instruction? That should be on. You don't need the defense lawyer to be telling you that. But as discussed at the bench, we're going to take some more time. You'll get back to me by Thursday morning. Yes, that's Donald Trump. They had a sidebar there where I'm guessing the lawyer went up there and went, you done fucked the pooch on this one, Judge. You know, but in nice courtroom parlance.
Yeah.
With the consent of the defense, Ms. Hoffinger was stepped out to give some instruction to her witness to stay focused and only answer what is asked. After a time, they bring everybody back in. Prosecutor says, the delays in payment, put up the email. And Stormy reads, no funds have been received. My client says the deal is off unless funds received by 5. Remember, she doesn't care about the money at all.
Oh, no. This is about her honor as a Southern lady.
Yeah, because remember, she didn't want her husband to know. They weren't dating at the time because she wasn't dating anybody except for all those people she was dating.
Yeah, that's how this works. See, you're only dating the people that you that are phantoms. She dates ghosts.
If we read what she said just a little while ago, that she wasn't interested in the money, she just didn't want her husband to know that she'd banged somebody when she was single. As a porn star, Jack.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it was embarrassing because of the power dynamic imbalance and the Trumpnosis.
He'd have been very judgmental of the porn star having sex with somebody who's not her husband when she was single.
Yeah, because she's a good Christian girl. She was raised Christian, see?
It's not about the money. Where is it? No funds have been received. My client says the deal's off unless funds are received by 5. And this was signed by Keith. I spoke to Slate. They weren't going to pay me. That's kind of weird there. I don't know where why Slate comes in. Was she trying to sell this to Slate?
Probably.
Thank you, Alan, who says, "Morning, monkey." Good morning, sir. Hope you're well. Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, dude.
Anyway, the new agreement, did you sign it? Yes. And the side letter agreement, I signed it on October 28th, 2016. This is another point that makes me just think this is all bullshit. We're like 6 days away from the election or 10 days away from the election that year. We'd already had the Access Hollywood tape.
Mm-hmm.
This coming out would not have been that big of a deal.
No.
Trump banged a porn star. And
rich man bangs slut. News at 11.
Yeah. Did Keith Davidson take a few and Gina? Yes. Did the Wall Street Journal reach out to you? No. My favorite question of all of this so far was Mr. Trump elected. Did that
sorry,
really?
We can't discuss election interference at this time.
Did that really have to be asked? All right. Yes. How was your 2017? Great. My best ever. I got a horse riding award. You told us you had. Never mind. My neighbors didn't know they live next to Stormy Daniels' only mom. What's this?
Your neighbors called you mom? That's
apparently
weird.
Yeah, they knew you were a porn star if they were calling you mom, sweetie. They were doing it in bed where you were getting plowed by 4 of them.
They were saying stepmom, and they kept trying to lure you to get stuck in things.
Prosecutor shows her some, asks, "What's this?" She says, "That's Keith's denial." Was it cleverly misleading? Trump, his people object to which is sustained again. Again, this is something you can't undo.
Yep.
Was it misleading? Cleverly misleading. Wink, wink. Do you see this 2018 story? Stormy says, "It outed me. It hurt my daughter, her father." Objection sustained. Again, has nothing to do with your fucking family, lady.
It hurt me. Oh, woe is me.
Why? Wait. Again, why is your husband, who you weren't even dating at the time, hurt by this? Why was your family upset by you having sex when you were a single woman? A porn star. If your daughter was old enough to read that about you, she already knew. She'd probably even seen you get banged already.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Alan, for the generous donations this morning, Jack. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well. Sorry you walked into the ludicrous nonsense of the Trump trial.
Were you scheduled to go on the Kimmel show? Yes, Gina brought me clothes. Okay, your family's all upset about this, and you're like, "I'm gonna go on Jimmy Kimmel and talk about it." That seem logical to you, Jack?
No.
Me neither. Yes, Gina brought me clothes, and Keith Davidson. She's fucking this Keith dude.
I'd be willing to bet. Yeah.
He had another statement. I signed it as Stormy Daniels, but unlike any other time I signed, it was a tip-off to Kimmel. But Jimmy Kimmel knew that it was that you didn't really mean your 2018 statement because you signed it as Stormy Daniels, which is what the entire country knows you as.
Yeah, because you used your stage name. That's stupid.
Michael Cohen was writing a book. It made me sad. He couldn't talk about it, and I couldn't.
Yeah, you signed a confidentiality agreement.
Did Michael Cohen file a TRO against you? Yes. Did you hire Michael Avenatti? Yes, we canceled the NDA and got fees. No, you didn't cancel the NDA. Trump did. Do y'all remember this? She did. They didn't go to court for this. Trump said, fuck it, let her say what she wants.
Look, that's a hate fact. She in fact did it because she's such a wholesome person. She's like, I'll take that chance. I am a hero.
The prosecutor asked, your book, Full Disclosure, does it describe better the encounter with Mr. Trump and the incidents in your childhood? Stormy, yes. I later found out Michael Avenatti had some, I'm guessing, done some editing. The lawyer was editing the book, Jack. For the record, Michael Avenatti is in prison right now because he's a fraudster and a douchebag.
Hate fact.
He was trying to extort Nike for $20 million.
Did he steal a bunch of her book money too?
He did. He took she sued him and won that case. He also ripped off old people, his ex-business partner, and a whole bunch of people at CNN and MSNBC thought he should have been the next president.
Yeah. Which tells you a lot about their judgment.
Yes, I later found out Michael Avenatti had done some editing. Did Avenatti file a defamation case? Yes, but I hadn't agreed to it. I thought it was risky.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm gonna get rich.
It was risky, and you couldn't have gone through with the case without. He couldn't have gone through the case without her involvement.
No, she had to sign off on everything. I guarantee you, even a scumbag like him covers his own ass.
And he absolutely covered his own ass. She was looking to get money. We can get more money out of him.
Yep.
He defamed me by saying he didn't plow me. He called me a liar. By the way, she lost that case, and that's why she owes him $500,000.
Yep, which she hasn't paid, and
Says she won't.
in this won't. She said she'll never pay him, which kind of violates the judge's order to pay him.
Where are we? Yes, but I hadn't agreed to it. I thought it was risky. Did Avenatti put out a sketch regarding the 2011 threat and Mr. Trump tweeted con job? Daniel says yes. Okay. Remember, we're in 2018 at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Avenatti has her talk to a sketch artist to describe a guy she saw briefly in a parking lot 7 years prior.
Yeah, he looks suspiciously like the waiter at the local restaurant she hangs out at.
I want everybody in the audience to listen to me because this will be relevant to everybody. 7 years ago, you saw somebody wearing a purple shirt. It was on a Friday. Draw him for me.
You're going to just draw some random guy from memory.
Yeah.
Like a random memory. Like I said, a waiter or something like that. Because you're not, your brain's just trying to find something to connect to it. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Con artists ripping each other off. Oh, my pearls, right? And no honor among thieves. Maniac Man. Yeah, no, there's no honor among thieves. Only in movies is there honor among thieves.
Even then, there's usually a betrayal. It's more of a guideline than a rule.
Right? Is Mr. Avenatti your lawyer now? No, he's in jail. Have you paid your legal fees? No, I don't have the money, and I didn't think it was fair. This woman just in front of the the judge said she's not going to follow a judicial order.
Yeah, because she decided it wasn't fair. Ergo, you don't have to do it. You didn't think it was fair. Oh, that makes total sense. Okay, then. Well, case dismissed.
But here's the interesting part of this. Any relation to this case? No. Anybody else seeing the problem with this line of questioning when that's the last thing we just read? None
Nope.
of this is related to this case.
Hate fact.
Did you go on a podcast with Michael Cohen? Yes, I wanted to hear him apologize, and he did. Then we did one up on Michael Avenatti. Did you get $100,000 from a documentary? Yes. Now, horse faiths shown truth shown, 408A. That's one of the exhibits. From the Post, jailbird Michael Cohen, sleazebag. Had he called you sleazebag before? Yes. I'm sure many people have called her a sleazebag.
Yeah, that's just par for the course. But she got $100,000 for being on a podcast and didn't give Trump any of that money that she owes him.
Nope.
That's probably highly suspicious, and he's got good reason to try and seize her assets. Go through try and recoup the money that she owes him, because now she admits she has assets.
I just love it. Has he called you sleazebag before? Yes. And is the post false? It is.
I am not, in fact, a sleazebag. I'm a hoe.
It's his opinion. It's his opinion that you're a sleazebag. And by the way, I'm with him that you're a sleazebag.
Yeah. You're kind of a shitty person.
You slept with a married man, if I'm to believe your story. And now you're lying about it, instead of just admitting you thought it would further your career.
Yep. If it really even happened.
Yeah. And again, if she just came out and said that, hey, I thought it would further my career, so I had sex with her, I'd still be on her side. I'd still be thinking, yeah, it's probable that they banged.
Yeah.
But her trying to dress this up and make it sound like rape, and fuck you. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want my boyfriends to know. By the way, I didn't have any boyfriends.
Yeah, my phantom boyfriends. He used his Trumpnosis powers. Trumpnosis, learned my hypnosis techniques to seduce women. The Trump way.
No further questions, your witness. So Trump's lawyer gets up there. I represent President Trump. You met with prosecutors and rehearsed your testimony? I did not rehearse. Bullshit. No lawyer worth their salt is calling you up on the stand without talking to you first about what's going to be said.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You don't
called
do
trial
that.
prep.
Yes. I didn't rehearse. You pretended to be cross-examined, right? No. They didn't pretend to cross. Then they need to be brought up on charges of
misconduct, because
that's
probably a bar violation not to prep your witness. Like, you're a terrible lawyer if you don't prep your witness for what the questions you might get asked were.
You said mock, no longer right. Now, I'm not sure what she means by no longer right. I'm guessing that she said that they'd done a mock
cross-examination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole examination, the whole witness part.
Yeah.
And now she's like, no, that's no longer right. But they told me not to agree to that.
Did they tell you to say anything? No, they told me not to.
You said you did porno for money, right? Don't we all? That's what we do here. Actually, she didn't say she did. She did porno. She wrote porno for money is what she said. You hate President Trump, right? Yes. You wrote that you'll dance when he's jailed? And she said, can you show me that? Now, I want to remind you guys, not too long ago, she remembered a picture of a guy she saw briefly in 2011, 7 years later. To where she could have him drawn. But something that she said just since the trials have started, like, I'm going to need you to show me that.
I remember that. I don't like you.
At the very least, that sounds like something I would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't remember that specific statement. That sounds like me. You wrote when he is selected to go to jail. Did you just laugh? Apparently, she's laughing in the courtroom about Trump going to jail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, would you be surprised by that? Because I would.
I heard that this testimony did not go well for the prosecution. And all things considered, I would agree so far, but this is the New York jury, so they don't care.
The fix is in.
Yeah. She said someone else wrote selected. It's funny. It's not because you think this is all funny. No. You owe him $500,000 in legal fees. I'm not sure of the dates. That's her response to you owe him $500,000 in legal fees. I don't know about the dates. March 2022, you were ordered to pay attorney fees for the appeal too, right? Yes. More in 2023 because of your frivolous objection sustained. It was frivolous.
Yeah, it was. That's why she owes him money for it. It was
Yeah.
considered frivolous.
You have money, right? We all have money. That's not true. There's homeless people out there that don't got a dime to their name, Jack.
Yeah, I'm pretty poor. Like, share, subscribe, and give us money.
You've said you will never pay, right? Correct. Which, by the way, her saying this is under oath.
Yeah.
And she said, I will go to jail instead of paying that. Do you understand how that works, sweetie? You're not going to go to jail for a couple of months and then they'll be like, okay, you can come out. You don't owe him anything. You'll come out still owing him that money.
Yep. And he's going to sue you because now you've stated publicly that you're never giving him that money.
Yep.
So he's going to come after your assets if he's smart. It'd be funny if Trump goes to court and gets a lien on her properties and gets control over all her pornos and stuff that she owns the rights to as payment. Oh, the Stormy Daniels catalog.
You said you never pay him, correct? I offer her tweet into evidence. The prosecutor objects, to which the judge sustains, and they approach. They come back, and it's allowed into evidence. She just admitted it all. Why would you even object to that?
Yeah. Because they know this makes them look like a bunch of shysters. Again, I don't know why they're bothering. The fix is in. This whole entire case is corrupt.
Why would you object to literally what she just admitted to that you didn't object to?
Because they're not good at their jobs.
And so the tweet reads, I will go to jail before I pay a penny. Trump's lawyer asks, that was you saying you didn't care about a federal order, right? And she says, I won't pay for telling the truth. You don't have a choice here, sweetheart.
Yeah. And obviously you weren't telling the truth. According to the law, whether you were or not's irrelevant. The legal case said you weren't.
You wrote this. I don't owe him shit, and I'll never give that orange turd a dime. Yes. You make fun of how he looks too, right? He did it first.
What are you, 10? He did it first.
He started it. Now, she's not wrong about that, but still.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah. He did it first. This is why I say all things equal, this does not look good for the prosecution. This just looks like childish payback.
Yeah. But they're going to have a bunch of activists on the jury. They're going to be like, yeah, he's a big bully.
You refuse to fill out an asset form? False. That'd be pretty easy to prove. Did you give an interview to Jeffrey Toobin? How appropriate is that?
Right.
Did you give an interview to Jeffrey Toobin and say you will not fill out the form? They asked about my daughter. And Trump's lawyer says, only her name. Let me show you. J10A. Recognize it? Daniel says it's an email from her attorney. Only you partially filled it out, right? Objection sustained. May we approach? Blah, blah, blah. Show her page. Take that down, the judge yells. I don't understand why her refusing to follow a court order is any less relevant than her seeing Donald Trump in his PJs.
Because it's prejudicial. It makes her look bad. So they don't want that. They want her to look like the saintly good girl who was manipulated by evil orange man with Trump gnosis. Instead, this makes her look evil. He's never getting that money. I hate him. They don't want her to look bad. So they're going to go to all lengths to protect their witness.
Trump's lawyer asked, let me hand you this instead of them putting it up for everybody to see. It's only partially filled out. It asks income. You say unknown, right? And she says, I won't fill out info that endangers my daughter. How does your fucking income endanger your daughter?
Oh, I can guess at that. She's hiding assets under her daughter's name.
Probably. She just showed she's very vindictive. Yeah.
Yeah, her credibility should be pretty shot. But again, I think this whole thing is rigged. So
I can't believe they called her. There's no good reason to call her other than the salacious side.
Yep.
But
none of her testimony is relevant.
Getting it into the record that she plowed Donald Trump, one, it doesn't even matter if she did. The whole notion is that this was paid off to keep that story from going viral or going out, whether the story's true or not.
Yep.
So it's all irrelevant. It asked what cars you own, and you won't answer, right? Yeah. You own a home? Nope. You tweeted that you made so much in porn that you could buy your ranch home. She says, we didn't buy it. I would have to see the tweet. And so they bring up the tweet. You said, I just paid for my ranch. Stormy said, I meant pay rent.
Bullshit. That'd be easy to find out, too.
Yeah.
All that stuff is public record.
Are you making money claiming to have had sex for more than a decade, right? She says, I make money telling my story. It also cost me money.
Bullshit. Well, you haven't paid the money that you owe on it.
Didn't you speak with Gloria Allred? That enough for me would be like, yeah, that bitch is lying.
Yep.
I told her I had sex with Donald Trump. And the lawyer asks, is this for your book Full Disclosure? And she says, yes. Did you say Gina Rodriguez had set up a call with Gloria Allred? Yes. Almost like there was a dedicated publicity campaign.
Yeah, that's weird.
You don't go to Gloria Allred because you want to keep stuff quiet and, protect your daughter and your family.
No, you go to Gloria Allred to get it all over the fucking news.
Yep. You told Gloria you did not have sex with President Trump, right? No, I told her I did have sex with him. She says, let me show you. You say you left out sex. Later, I told her. I don't even know how to deal with that. For the book, did you tell Gloria Allred? Yes, but you didn't. I did it later. It was when I was drawing that guy from 2011. Suddenly I remembered
that I totally definitely remember.
Yeah, so again, I don't understand why they would call her, except for in a legal purpose, Jack. I understand why they did it.
Yeah, there's no legal purpose. This is just to manipulate the jury and get salacious and make Trump look bad in the press.
And all they did,
propaganda.
And all they did instead is, one, give the defense a decent grounds for appeal, and two, make her look like a complete fucking liar. A pissed off, bitchy woman who didn't get on The Apprentice when she wanted to, so she decided she was getting paid somehow.
Yep.
Oh,
and to commit perjury a few times.
Yeah, repeatedly commit perjury. She just did it again.
Take back.
It's okay. She corrected herself.
Oh, that makes it okay.
Where are we? Did I go too far? You told Gloria you left out sex. Later, I told her, not in the book. And Daniel's reply, I would not go with force, so I said no. She says, you're just
That's
making
my
this up.
purse.
You're just making this up now, aren't you? I don't trust her. Okay.
I don't know you.
You have a salacious story about a man who used his Jedi mind trick to get you to have sex with him against your will, and you didn't trust telling Gloria Allred that.
Yeah, ambulance chaser, publicity hound, Gloria Allred. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
If you out there in the audience do not know who Gloria Allred is, her whole shtick is going after men who have abused women.
Yeah, yeah, in the most outrageous public way possible.
Yeah.
She's really good at getting people's book deals and get their story out, get them on different talk shows. She's good at what she does. She doesn't win very many cases from what I can tell. I don't know, but she does get settlement money and she gets people on these tours. You want a book deal, if you banged a celebrity, you want Gloria Allred. She's good at that shit.
Yep. And again, I don't like Gloria Allred at all.
I don't either.
This is another one of those cases where it's like, this is why I don't believe you.
Yeah. You're hanging out with slimy people.
You had Avenatti as your fucking lawyer, but Gloria Allred set up red flags for you?
Right?
For real? Anyway, Trump's lawyer goes, it taught you if you want to make money off President Trump, you have to claim sex? No, but it seems to be that way.
What?
Okay, it didn't teach you that, but it seems that way. How does it seem that way if that's not what it showed you?
Don't think about what I'm saying. Just listen and believe.
So what we're hearing here is that she went to Gloria Allred and told her story without the salacious rape stuff she's just invented here. And it was so bad of a story, Gloria Allred went, When Gloria Allred won't touch your fucking case, you've got problems.
Yeah, you have major problems with your case.
That bitch has never met a fucking woman claiming a guy hurt her that she didn't cream herself over.
Yeah.
And remember, without the sex, there's no story here other than she really wanted to get on The Apprentice.
Yeah, she didn't get her way. That's the story without the sex. Without the sexy angle, this is a non-story. It's not even interesting.
Bob said, I think I heard that name from Razor Fist Jackson videos. Yes. Gloria Allred was involved briefly in some of the Michael Jackson stuff. She was also involved in, especially if there's a Republican that's been accused of anything, she's there.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are we? She, in fairness to her, she's not just partisan though. If I remember correctly, she had some Clinton clients too.
Yeah, she likes money, and she's really good at it. Like I said, she's good at what she does for
money and attention.
Publicity.
Yep.
Yeah, money and attention, exactly.
Oh, we got to stop talking about this idiot for a minute because we have a birthday in chat. It's Aaron's birthday.
Oh.
Aaron, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aaron. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a good one. I really do. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Had a hiccup and a burp at the same time.
Oh, that'll happen.
That's not pleasant. I hope you have a great birthday. I really do. My birthday's a year off, Jack. I'm sad by that.
I know.
Yeah. All right, where are we? No, but it seems that way. When you spoke with In Touch, you were trying to sell your story, right? Yes. Remember, this is in 2015. Or no, it was even before that, wasn't it? This is before he runs for president that she tries selling it to In Touch? Or right as he's announcing?
Remember. I think it's right around the time of announcing.
Yeah. The dirty.com happened after the parking lot threat? And he said, oh, sorry. Trump's lawyer says, at the same time, you were telling In Touch you had sex with President Trump while threatening to sue dirty.com to take it down. And Stormy says the dirty.com happened after the parking lot threat. To which the lawyer asks, are you sure? I feel
Not
like after
anymore.
everything she said, you need to ask, are you sure? Trump's lawyer says, you were saying it was bullshit while getting paid. Oh, wait. Yeah. You were saying it was bullshit while getting paid $15,000 to say it was true. And Daniel says, I did Anderson Cooper and they didn't pay me anything. That's not the question.
Yeah, nice dodge. No wonder
Where's
she
the
was running
judge?
Congress.
The judge, he wants her to be kept answering questions and stuff. Why was she not admonished here?
Because the judge has a partisan angle here. His daughter's got to raise money off of this somehow.
And Trump's lawyer says, we'll get to that. The In Touch was a 22-page transcript in 15 minutes. After the threat, you went to exercise class? Stormy says, I went to the restroom there, waited for the next class. I was crying in the bathroom, but I said my daughter had a diaper blow up. What? Whatever. I don't even know what this bitch is saying at this point.
Oh, sad. I was crying because my daughter pooped herself. What? She sounds like a nutcase.
The lawyer says, this is the first time you say you were crying. Anybody shocked that this is brand new information?
I mean, you shouldn't be.
She's really been working on that repressed memory.
Yeah. The aliens probed me, and Donald Trump was there like, all right, Grace, start the probing machine. I gotta get my TARDIS keyed up. It runs off horror juice.
It really does remind me of Tara Reid and her story with Biden.
Yeah.
Because Tara Reid tells this story for a long time. And I believe this part of the story about Biden touching her neck and commenting on her legs and being kind of creepy the way guys were allowed to be at work during the 80s and 90s. That doesn't get her any attention. And suddenly we get this story of her taking a bag to him in the basement at the Senate exercise room and her getting shoved up against a wall and digitized and you mean nothing to me. The story just gets worse and worse and worse every time it's told, to this point where she's literally giving brand new information, never before public, that she cried after that incident. So the lawyer points out that this is the first time you've ever said that you cried, and she responds, I did say she had a blowout. This is the first time you've ever mentioned you cried. I did say my daughter shit herself. Those aren't the same thing, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're embellishing. Even if it's real, you're embellishing, and it's clear.
Embellishing is a nice way of saying likely lied.
The prosecutors should be brought up on charges for bringing this lady up there knowing she was going to lie.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious, too. I mean,
legally in the United States, you cannot ask or put somebody up there knowing they're going to lie. Anyway, when she says this, that she did say her daughter had a blowout, she points to the jury for some reason.
Because the jury's gonna they're gonna poop themselves.
The lawyer says, you didn't even tell the father of your baby, right? She says, I didn't. You said nothing until 7 years later with your daughter in danger? And she says, right.
You're a terrible parent.
Trump's lawyer, you made up this threat to explain why you never said you had sex with Trump, right? No, I said it on a radio station in Tampa. And the lawyer says, you told Anderson Cooper you never said it before. To which he says, I was scared.
Oh, scared.
You had already said it on a radio station in Tampa, but you told Anderson Cooper you hadn't ever said it because you were scared? Why wouldn't you have been scared on the Tampa radio show?
Maybe her daughter pooped herself on that one too.
Trump's lawyer says both you and Michael Cohen, the other douchebag lawyer in this thing.
Yeah.
You and Michael Cohen hope to make money if off President Trump, right? Objection sustained. And you commissioned a sketch of the threatener. Avenatti did. Oh, okay, that's fine, but who gave the description? It wasn't Michael. He wasn't there.
Well, I mean, with this testimony, maybe he was.
Okay, the lawyer asked if they want to take a break, which they do. They're back. Trump's lawyer asked, in E, you were quoted, the story is bullshit, but didn't you say he vehemently denied to E hooking up with President Trump? I don't remember that. It's amazing what she does and doesn't remember. Maybe 8 or 10 years from now, she'll remember this.
No, see, what happens is everybody that learned under Trump and studied the Trump gnosis has the power to cloak themselves.
Back to Trump's lawyer. You're saying that you were saying that the article says you vehemently, I can't say that word very well, deny the story. That's false? Yes. You told the dirt to take it down. I didn't do it. Keith did. He was Gina's lawyer. I authorized him to down it. Except you said earlier Trump's people got it taken down. I thought
that's what she said too, but there seems to be a lot of inconsistencies and what's that word people use? Lies? Is that the word?
Yes.
Oh.
As the prosecutor in this case about financial forms being misfiled, why would you bring this whore up there? Again, I get it. But even if he gets the jury to be on his side in this is completely fucked on appeal.
I would hope so. But again, I think this is rigged. I think this whole thing is rigged. They're not going to do anything about this.
The Trump's lawyer says in 2011 the story wasn't worth much, but then it was worth more in 2016, right? To which she says, I said a free press conference. Here's the thing. Even a story that's known can be bought.
Yeah.
She can come out and say, I had sex with Donald Trump back in 2011 or 2006, whenever it supposedly happened. 2006 is the date this supposedly happened, right? Almost 20 years ago. And then somebody will come along and go, we'll give you $250,000 for the exclusive rights to the entire details of that. Remember earlier she was asked about making money off of this, and she said in response to that she was told to have a press conference.
Yeah, because it gin up interest, and then she'd
get
the press conference is free, but you want the details, the gory, sexy details. Got to fork over some money.
Nobody told you to go out there to make money and give everything away for free. That's retarded.
Yeah.
All right, where are we? The lawyer says, but you never held it. You say you were threatened if you spoke, so you spoke? And she says, new ball game. What? You were okay. When Donald Trump was just Donald Trump, they threatened you. They were going to hurt you real bad, and your daughter, apparently, who wasn't even born when this happened. They were going to hurt you real bad when he was just a businessman. But as a presidential candidate, they were like, fuck it, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, he has less influence and power with people as a presidential candidate, not just a billionaire. Wait.
Who believes this shit? I mean, I know who does because I run into him on Twitter day after fucking day. But again, this is another part where it's like I could have believed this if I never heard her tell the story.
Right.
The more she talks, the more I believe she made all of this up. That they probably met, and he might have even mentioned to her that, you know, he was thinking of having her on the show because he'd heard of her or something before. And that she's mad she never got on there, and she decided she was getting paid anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Stormy.
he owes her now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Stormy, do you realize that when you have to pay somebody the money like you owe Donald Trump, that they're not just going to throw you in jail? They can actually seize your assets. Do you have any idea about that? Do you think any of her lawyers told her that?
I don't think so. I think she's got some real shitty lawyers.
All right. In this text, Gina said, I have Stormy Daniels. Please read Dylan Howard. And this goes, that switches back to Stormy. Denounced it previously. I don't want to comment if I don't understand what they're talking about. You don't understand your... I'm with you. I don't understand your story either because it makes no goddamn sense.
It changes quite frequently.
But what the fuck is this woman talking about? How was she not removed from the stand and been like, everything she said disregard because she's clearly out of her fucking mind? Whether she was high or this is just who she is.
That's why I think the longer this goes on, the more it looks like this is a rigged trial. He's going to find her guilty on something, or find Trump guilty on something, and the appeals are going to be ignored because the fix is in.
Michelle, the lawyer for Trump, this is a quote. She had sex with him. She wants 100,000. No, remember, she doesn't care about the money at all. Thank you, Frosted. She changes her story more than the ending of Clue, right? Except for that was a much better story.
Yeah.
Stormy says, I authorized Gina to shop the story. I wanted to get the story out and make some money too. To which the judge says, we're going to end there. And so there it is. There's Stormy McWhore out there telling her bullshit story. And the judge cuts it off right at a very relevant point.
Yeah, because we can't have that.
Remember, all through this, the money didn't matter. The money didn't matter. She didn't learn that she could make the money. I know money's no big deal. I was given a free press conference. This is your friend saying that you have this story that you had sex with Trump and you want 100,000 for it. I wanted to tell the story real bad and get paid. You just perjured yourself again. You've testified repeatedly money didn't matter. You didn't do it for the money. Jesus Christ, man.
The only thing missing, as James Woods pointed out on Twitter, is her saying, and somebody yelled, "This is MAGA country."
Right. Can we get to the link to all that? Yes, absolutely. I'll toss it into chat again. I'm also going to do something I don't normally do, but this dude has his Patreon here, so we're going to link that for him too if anybody wants to support him for the cool shit he did here. But don't forget, we're brought to you by you as well, Jack.
Yeah, we have Patreons. They're linked in the description, right with our Teespring stores. And you can donate to us now using PayPal via Streamlabs, or Monkey has Super Chats.
Yeah, I appreciate the work this guy did, and have no problem pimping out his work there, because damn, he's doing that all live as this is going on.
Yeah.
He's got testimony from, I think, all days of this trial. I occasionally miss a few days, so I might have missed some stuff. I'm going to go back and read the Hope Hicks ones because I haven't read that yet.
Dude's doing the Lord's work.
He really is. This should be televised. It really should be televised so we can all see what's going on.
Yeah. But they don't want to show that because it'll make the prosecution look like they're railroading Trump, because they are.
They are. Can you imagine how this would have played if people got to see what actually happened there?
Well, I mean, you'd have to have an honest media, and we don't.
Imagine Stormy with some of her comments, the look on her face that she was given at the time, or like when she was just asked about that there, about how she just made up crying after the 2011 parking lot incident. But I did say she pooped a bunch. You got caught lying repeatedly.
Yeah.
Why isn't it televised? Because a lot of trials aren't in the United States. They're either barred from being it on the federal level, or the judge decides it could be prejudicial, or the defendant doesn't want it because it could be harmful to them in the future. There's all kinds of ridiculous reasons for why we don't get to see some of this shit.
New York has very specific laws around this too for celebrity trials because of the Lindbergh case. That case turned into such a shit show because reporters were standing on tables trying to get photographs. So they passed a bunch of laws that restricted when you can have media in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And that's what they're hiding behind on this one.
I can't believe they brought this stupid bitch onto the stand. I really can't.
That's how another supporting reason why I think the fix is in. Not only are the prosecutors donating to Biden and the judge donated to Biden, and he's foreign born, which shouldn't matter, but with all the anti-immigration stuff that Trump said, it does show a little bit of a possible bias. And his daughter works for the DNC as a fundraiser. The fact they throw Stormy Daniels in on the stand is just to be salacious, and it shows their overconfidence that they've already rigged this trial.
I just want to show you what CNN had to say about this, because it's amazing to me. There we go. The prosecutors may have gone a little too far during Stormy Daniels' testimony. A little too far, Jack.
A little too far. Yeah, that's the best they could do. That's the most they can admit that, hey, this is a little odd.
Even the judge had to say, yeah, that was kind of fucked up. We'll just tell him to ignore it, basically, in that one part. It might be a little too far. There's nothing, there's not the headlines, judge slaps the prosecution for going too far, which would be what it was if it was Trump's lawyers that went too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like Trump's lawyers, they never know the line they're not supposed to cross.
They were pouncing over the line.
Yeah. Oh, they love the word pounce, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Stormy Daniels took the stand today, or yesterday now, I guess. And God bless. What a retard.
What a complete mess.
Once again, I was ready to believe her until I heard the story, Jack.
Yeah.
And that's just based on knowing who Trump is.
Yeah.
He was known as
it's dumber.
He was known as a ladies' man. And he helped cultivate that image of himself.
Yeah, of course.
And so, yeah, he banged some whore, let him put it in, sure. And then you hear the story itself from the horse's mouth. The slutty horse, but it's still a horse.
Excuse me, she's an equestrian.
I missed it. What did the prosecution do? That I forgot about that. Nice callback. What did the prosecution do that went too far? They allowed her to give testimony saying basically that she was raped without saying she was raped.
Yeah, there was a heavy implication that it was against her will.
She says she goes to meet Trump for this penthouse dinner that was totally just normal.
Yeah, totally just dinner.
Is that what people do? Just randomly
yeah.
go to a stranger's house for dinner?
Apparently.
I'm not a porn star, so I don't know.
I mean, that's like the first tip of online safety when you're meeting somebody for a Bumble date or something. Like, hey, make sure you're in a public place so you're not getting kidnapped and murdered.
So she says that she goes to the dinner and she had to tinkle. So she goes into Trump's bathroom that's through his bedroom and rifles through his shaving kit.
Like you do. He must not have had a medicine cabinet there.
I really want to see this penthouse because she says it's 3 times the size of her apartment. And the bathroom he told her to use was his private bathroom.
If it's his penthouse in New York, it's been featured in several shows. Like he has a gold toilet and shit like that.
Isn't there more than one bathroom in that house?
Probably, but he's like
$4 million, and all they got is one bathroom.
Yeah, it's in the hallway. It's my private bathroom, the only one in the apartment.
16 beds, one bath.
Yeah.
Anyway,
mornings are confusing when I have guests over.
So she goes through the bedroom to use the bathroom, rifles through his shaving kit where he had some Old Spice and gold tweezers. She leaves the bathroom. He's laying on the bed in his boxer shorts. He stands up, and then the next line we get about what actually happened is that he's on top of her missionary style, and she's staring at the ceiling, wishing she was somewhere else. And that judge let all of that be said in this trial.
Totally not prejudicial.
And when the defense asked for a mistrial, the judge said, "Nah, we'll just tell him to ignore it."
Penthouse is what I call my windowless van. Good one, Frosted.
Nice. Dangerous. Thank you. Fiery, but mostly peaceful cross-examination. Yeah, it kind of was. Nary an objection on her part to it, though. The reason that they didn't object specifically, and this is one of the things that you have to realize when you're dealing with juries and stuff. I remember this during the Rittenhouse trial. I'm watching as Ricada is watching, because I was watching it on his channel.
Yeah.
And all of the lawyers on there kept going, they should object to this and object to this and object to this. And I finally asked Nick, I'm like, can't you annoy the jury? Because by that point, I was annoyed at all of them saying object.
Yeah.
So can't you object too much to where you annoy the jury? And you absolutely can. The important objection that they made there was the one at the beginning to her even being brought on the stand. Oh, sorry. Faithless said she didn't object. Yes, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. But this is what the prosecutor said. He's like, yeah, we should really make sure that everybody knows that she consented and everything. Never did, by the way. They never redirected that.
Follow through. What the hell, man?
But yeah, the defense did not object. I think they objected 2 or 3 times during it. And the judge brings this up, and she points out that Trump's lawyer's like, we objected at the beginning. We object to this whole fucking thing. I'm paraphrasing and putting it in us normal people language.
Yeah.
We objected to the whole fucking thing, to which the judge like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I don't recognize that one.
Yeah, it's actually there. They did it at the beginning, and you were like, no, it's fine. They can even talk about the sex, which has literally nothing to do with the case.
I'm telling you, this whole thing is the fix is in. It's a show trial. Very Kafka-esque Soviet Union. You're guilty. We're just gonna find something to make you guilty of.
Yeah, and if I'm the defense, you move for the mistrial knowing they're not going to give it to you. You hope they don't give it to you, because a mistrial just means they're going to try it again.
Yeah.
What you want is the judge to, we're going to let this go through so you can use that on appeal.
Yep, and get the whole thing thrown out.
Yep. At this point, I'm not even convinced she met Trump. I believe she met Trump. I mean, they were at that same event together. How much they met. This is honest to God what I think at this point. I think they did meet. I think that he did go, hey, porn star, that would be a salacious thing to put on The Apprentice and get people in.
Yeah.
And instead he went with Jenna Jameson instead, which is a much better option, because who the fuck is Stormy Daniels?
Yeah, Jenna Jameson's more widely known too, just because she's done a lot more directing and owns a lot more of her material, so she has better marketing.
Dude, 90% of the guys our age know who Jenna Jameson is, even if they've never seen any of her work.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Because her name, she's got better branding.
Yeah, I think what happened is that she thought she was getting on Celebrity Apprentice, or even she floated the idea to him and he seemed interested in it, and instead went with somebody else, and she decided she was getting him back.
Yeah, it's revenge.
How dare you take my idea? I was going to get paid. I don't care about the money at all, though, because I moved.
Yeah, that's why we tried to, get a pile of money out of saying I did something. Yeah, I don't doubt they've met probably a couple times. That doesn't mean anything. They're both very famous people. But I agree with you, Monkey. The longer this goes on, the less I think they actually had sex.
Oh yeah, I don't believe they did it at all now. I admit it's a possibility. I just don't believe it happened.
Yeah. And that whole thing with I felt drugged. Shut up. Gross.
Or if they did have sex, it's because she floated this idea and Trump's like, that's an interesting idea. You want to go back to my place and talk about it? And she was like, yeah, I'm a whore. Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
And then he went with Jenna and she's like, I gave him my pussy and he still screwed me.
Yeah, see, she doesn't seem like his type, though. He's got a type.
Well,
Look
and
at his
again,
ex-wives.
we talked about this at the beginning of her testimony where she says that she doesn't use condoms. And that's one that really jumps out because he's a known germaphobe.
Yeah. And rightly so. I mean, if I was super rich, I'd be like, I gotta stay healthy. This is fucking crazy. I don't want to touch you.
Yep. She says she told him that when she's having sex with random guys while she's totally dressed as an extra, which is kind of weird, that she didn't use condoms because she has a latex allergy, which I believe she has a latex allergy, Jack.
Yeah, but they make other kinds of condoms too, like lambskin.
They do. Anything else you could use. And the fact that she said that and nobody has pointed that out to her is just amazing to me. This is the problem with writing your bullshit down, is that people have a record of it.
Yeah, you have to remember in-depth lies like that.
Yeah, this is, guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to lie, don't lie. Just don't. It's as much as you can, be as honest as you can. But if you're going to lie, keep it simple. Keep it simple. This is how people get caught in lies. Frosted, you weren't here for this, but at the beginning of this, she says that their conversation, he asked her, do you have a boyfriend? And she told him no, because she didn't at the time. And then she was very ashamed and she didn't want all her boyfriends to know. Immediately afterwards. Kind of weird. This woman perjured herself without question at least twice.
Oh, yeah, minimum.
And there's about 4 or 5 other times where it's like, oh, you might be skirting the line there, but that's a falsehood.
I wonder if the prosecution gave her immunity for anything she said.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, remember, you have to have the prosecutors care about it.
Yeah, and they don't, because I'm telling you, the fix is in on this one. They're going to find a way to get him in jail.
The judge can step in and be like, oh, you need to stop talking. But unless the prosecution brings perjury charges, there's who else is going to do it? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for her to bring up the machine elves. Give her time. Give her time. She just hasn't had that repressed memory freed yet.
Yeah. She has to do some TNT first. And they were really racist.
But I didn't have sex with any of them except for the ones I did. It's
I
just
didn't
so...
want my boyfriends who were not boyfriends to find out about them.
That was just bad. And it's bad for all the people who hate Trump because, I mean, clearly she perjured herself on the stand. She is the one that has 2 different stories that she's given. Now about 6 different stories, honestly.
No, but it doesn't matter because it's all about get Trump.
I don't want to put you in jail. Haha, stop playing. I know that with this judge. I know. Anyway, guys, we're going to... What? Has anyone heard of Good Logic and his case to ungag Trump under Section 78? I know who Good Logic is. He seems like a nice enough guy, but I can't watch him. He's just got a personality that drives me insane. So nothing. I'm not dogging the guy at all, but I can't watch him. So yeah, I have no idea about his case. I hope it works because Trump shouldn't be gagged.
No, this whole gag order thing is ridiculous. It's just the judge trying to keep from looking improper and covering his own ass because he's got conflicts. So's his daughter, and so does the prosecution. And he doesn't want Trump pointing that out to millions of people. It's totally ridiculous gag order.
And if you look at the gag order rules and stuff, they're not there so that they like to go, but what if Al Capone said he was going to kill somebody's? That's not what those rules are in place for. Do you know what they're actually in place for? They're to protect the defendant.
Yes, you don't say something that incriminates you.
Or to have the prosecutor go out there and say something horrible about them. Or that's what these are used for. It's not used for the defendant to not have the right to go, this judge is clearly biased.
No, I'm above reproach because I gave money to the Biden campaign and my daughter makes money for the DNC. Nothing to see here. You can't mention that. There was even speculation that the judge could hold him in contempt for rolling his eyes at something Daniel said. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm telling you, this judge is going to put Trump in jail one way or another.
Pirate says, why did Trump have a non-disclosure agreement with Stormy, though? Okay, here's the thing. Trump didn't have a non-disclosure agreement with Stormy. Michael Cohen did. Michael Cohen's the one who arranged all of that. Trump is a bystander to all of this shit. But even then, let's say, for argument's sake, and remember, when that all comes up and they're like, why won't you let her tell her story? He goes, do it. I don't fucking care. But this goes to, let's say, just for argument's sake, that everything's real. Or none of it's real, but Donald Trump really did be like, hey, we got to get her to quiet down. Give her a non-disclosure. It's October 28th, I think was the date when this is all starting to blow up and the non-disclosure and all this supposedly happens. And at this point, it's one of those things like when a company gets sued because you fell on their property and you're like, I want $100,000. Like, give that idiot $10,000 so they'll go the fuck away. Worst case, he just wanted it to go away and be like, fuck it, I'm a billionaire. Give this stupid whore 130 to shut the fuck up. That would be a reason. Yeah. I mean, it's not like at that point, because it was already out there. As they point out in that testimony, she'd been shopping this around before Trump ran for president.
Yeah, reputational damage is important during a political campaign. So the non-disclosure is to keep her from constantly coming back to the well, asking for more money.
Yep. And so there's reasons people do stuff. I mean, even with the Krasensteins, as much shit as I give them because it's verifiable what they did wrong, giving up $450,000 rather than going to prison, the possibility of going to prison, I understand that.
Yeah.
Especially as rich as they are.
Yeah, and who the fuck wants to go to prison?
Yeah. There's a lot of times, it's basically legal extortion. And it's one of the problems with tort in this country. This is why for so long, tort reform was on everybody's talking points when they were running for president. Because one of the reasons medical costs are so high is because lawyer costs are so high, because court costs are so high.
Yeah, and people get sued for frivolous nonsense all the time.
It's why Stormy Daniels owes Donald Trump money, because we make the loser pay the fees. So as a way to try to keep them from bringing frivolous lawsuits. But anyway, we're going to wrap up here, Jack. We're almost at 3 hours again. I really wish
awesome.
I really wish we could have seen this rather than just read it, because I want to see the stupid horror she's saying this stuff.
Yeah, don't worry. She'll have another book deal about the traumas of the trial and all that shit. I guarantee you she's going to make a boatload of money off of this somehow.
Oh, of course. Fuck, she could set up a GoFundMe. Donald Trump was mean to me.
Yeah, and then she'll do a porno version of it.
It just reminds me of Michael Jackson settling the first case. That makes a lot of people think he's guilty. Yeah, and I was one of those people. But Razor Fist explains that very well. He settled for, I think, 20 million, 10 million, something like that. And it seems like a lot of money to you and me. That wasn't shit to Michael Jackson. Especially at the launch of a major tour with a brand new album.
Yeah.
He was going to make that shit up in 2 nights. Dangerous, thank you. Payoffs to avoid expensive trials is very common. True. And in this case, it wasn't a trial, but I mean, you have the Access Hollywood tape. You have everybody out there. Donald Trump said Negro, the other word, when he was on The Apprentice. There's a video. I mean, all of this crap is out there. And if you can make one of them go away for a tiny bit of money to Donald Trump is a tiny bit of money. Sure, I can understand it.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are so kind to us. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links to some cool videos. As always, like Monkey just said, thank you so much for the donations and all the support you give us. The tips really do help out. It's how we keep going. And your support is a major part of that. So thank you guys. And thanks for coming out night after night. It's good seeing people.
I think we're just going to end there. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here, dude.
Everybody, have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Stormy Daniels raped me in a parking lot in 2011. I was so scared.